Good evening and welcome to the Hawaiʻi Neighborhood Board. My name is Roberta Mayer. I represent Subdistrict 10, and I'm going to ask the board members to introduce themselves. Sam, would you start tonight?
Aloha and good evening, everybody. My name's Sam Wolf with Subdistrict 4, the Hahaione Valley Condo Towers.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Bishop at large.
This is our neighborhood assistant, Anson Wu. Thank you. Greg?
Greg Knudsen at large.
Robert Allen, Subdistrict 2, Kuapa Isle, Spinnaker Isle.
Paula who am I? Paula Bender, and I am in District 9, which is the Luna Lilo, go ahead, Terrace, from the highway to the high school.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Herb Schreiner, Subdistrict 6, which is like the Kamiluiki Valley above the skate park area. Thank you for coming.
We have a few board members online. Board members online, would you please introduce yourselves?
Elizabeth Riley at large.
Paige Alton, Subdistrict 11, Portlock Road and Maunalua Triangle, Kokokai.
Elijah Lee, Subdistrict 5.
Thank you. We are a 15-member board. 12 of our seats are filled. We expect one more board member to join us this evening, but I'd like to let the community know that we have 3 unfilled seats. They are at-large seats, and we would welcome anybody from the community to join us. So if you are interested, we will be considering applications this evening. Thank you. We appreciate all of you being here, and we're going to be starting with the first item on our agenda, which is a report from the Honolulu Fire Department. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us tonight.
Aloha, everyone. You guys hear me? Okay, my name is Travis Severe. I'm a firefighter right here in the Hawaiʻi Fire Station. So we're going to go over our incident statistics for March, starting out with that. For fires, we had 1 nuisance fire, we had 3 cooking fires, and 17 activated alarms, which were no fires. Emergencies, we had 88 medical calls, 1 motor vehicle crash, 1 mountain rescue, which was Cocoa Head, 1 ocean rescue at China Walls, and 1 hazardous material incident. Next, we got our fire safety tip of the month, which is evacuation preparedness. So I'm just going to read that off. So ensure you have an emergency preparedness plan in place for situations like environmental emergencies, fires, or natural disasters. Familiarize yourself with at least 2 escape routes from your home and then plan an evacuation path if you must leave your neighborhood due to an emergency. For more information on that, you can visit the fire.honolulu.gov website. A couple additional things they had on there was leave early to avoid getting trapped by fire, smoke, or traffic delays. Have a predetermined meeting place like a trusted neighbor, relative's home, a low-risk area, a shelter, or evacuation center. Make sure you stay informed. You can sign up for notifications at hnlalert.gov, official social media, or other vetted sources. And then make sure you bring your go bag with an essential item for your family and pets. It's a subset of your all hazard 14-day disaster supply kit. For more information on that and a principal checklist, you can go to honolulu.gov/dem/build-a-kit. Then if you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. Right. Thank you guys so much. Great, safe evening.
Thank you. Are there questions for the Honolulu Fire Department? 1 second. Travis, what is your last name, please?
Severe.
Sidier, with an S or a C?
S-E-V-I-E-R.
Thank you. Go ahead, Lisa.
Thank you for being here this evening. I did have a question about the Cocoa Head. Was that the Cocoa Crater, the trail, the mountain? Not Cocoa Head at Hanauma Bay at the point?
No.
Cocoa Crater. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Other questions for the Honolulu Fire Department? from the audience? All right, seeing no questions, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Moving on to the Honolulu Police Department.
Hi, aloha, Lieutenant Taro.
Hello,
Nakamura
Lieutenant.
with HP. Yep. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, shoots. All right, these are our stats for March as compared to the previous month. Let's see, motor vehicle thefts was 1 as compared to 2. Burglaries were 0 as compared to 1. Thefts in general, 8 as compared to 6. And UEMVs, which is theft from auto, 4. And the previous month was 1. This was out of a total calls of service of 5,697. Further statistics can be found at honolulupd.org. And our safety tip for the month, just to jump on with the fire guys. And also last week, Japan had a real scare with a tsunami. These things do happen. There's something, I don't know, I don't want to botch us, but this year we've had a lot of earthquakes in some pretty dangerous places. Where can you get information? Just a reminder, if you have a cell phone, there's that honoluluhnl.info. And then if you want to check if your house or your place of work is in a tsunami inundation zone, there's a really good site that the city DEM site where it's honolulu.gov/DEM Delta Echo Mike, where you can just put in your address and you can see what kind of put in your address to your house or your business, and you can see what kind of zone you are in. So knowledge is power. Based on that, you can make your emergency plans. Yeah. So it's just a friendly reminder.
All right, are there any questions for the Honolulu Police Department? Yes, please come on up.
Thank you. My name is Tom Cooper. I live here in Hawaiʻi Kai, and I'm very grateful for your reports all the time. Sometimes some of us have an event that's larger than usual, and it would be good to notify the Hawaiʻi Kai police just so that they know what's happening, how many people might attend, where it will be. Whenever I've done that, I've had to call Honolulu because I got a voicemail, and they refer me to the same number where I get a voicemail. What's the easiest and best and most effective way to talk to police here in Hawaiʻi Kai?
What kind of event are you talking about? Are you like at a private residence or more like at a park or something where permits and stuff are required?
I'm talking about at large, any kind of event where there might be more than 100 people, either indoor or outdoor, so that they're alerted and they can be closer to it and they see it coming up.
Well, the best place to call would be District 7. We have our command office, and you can call 723-3369, which is our main number. And then just ask for the District 7 community policing team. And then they work during the day also, 7:45 to 16:30. And then they can you tell them what kind of event you have, where it's at, how many people, and they can either take that information and give it to us if it's just information, or they can steer you to other places.
Thank you. Similarly, when I go to the office there, there's usually no one there. We sometimes want to leave goodies for the policemen. We other times want to talk to them.
Oh.
Is there a way to speak to Hawaiʻi Kai police?
Yeah, the Hawaiʻi Kai storefront is exactly that. It's not staffed 24 hours a day. It's a very, very long story, but we don't have the manpower to staff that. If you do go to the Hawaiʻi Kai storefront and you're in need of police assistance, just call 911 and one of the officers will meet you over there.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Lieutenant, can you please repeat that District 7 number?
I think it's 723-3369. I got it. Yeah, pretty sure that's it.
Thank you. Any other questions for the Honolulu Police Department? All right, thank you so much, Lieutenant. Appreciate your being here.
Okay, Law, see you next month.
Okay. Next on our agenda is the Board of Water Supply. Hello, Iris.
Hello, I couldn't remember if I was next on the agenda. So I give the announcements of the main breaks that occurred last month, which there was one on, let's see, March 13th and March 19th, both near 715 Hawaiʻi Street. So sorry about that. And then I do a general water announcement. So there's a water conservation. So even though the recent storms may have brought a lot of rain, water conservation still matters. So rainfall alone is not enough to offset everyday water use, especially during the warmer summer months. That's why it's important to continue to use water wisely and do our part to prevent waste. So I got 5 simple ways to help save water this summer. So water your plants early in the morning to reduce evaporation, take shorter showers, check for toilet leaks. A faulty flapper is often the culprit. And then don't let your faucet run unnecessarily. And 5th is apply for Board of Water Supply rebates for on water efficient appliances and systems. Excuse me. So using water wisely helps conserve this valuable resource and also can help save on your water bill. So as anything, go to our boardofwatersupply.com website. And this one is boardofwatersupply.com/7ways to get some other ideas of how to save water. And then there's just information about the rebates also. So that's my announcement. I had some questions from last month. Okay. So one of the questions, when I responded about a paving near 1093 Wainiha Street, they asked, remember Herb, you were asking about that, the repaving that was done for a main break back in 2023 wasn't the best work you're saying at the the best finish. So we had said to contact DFM for the road divisions. And you asked, if there's something more the Board of Water can do, but sorry though, since it was completed last year, or April of that year, excuse me, not last year, but April of that year, 2023. The current road condition, it needs to be referred to the Department of Facility Maintenance Road Division. So, but sorry, if you guys do see something after a Board of Water Supply job, call it in as soon and quickly as possible. And then that way, maybe we can have the contractors or somebody address it at that time. Okay, so let's see. Oh, and they gave me a phone number. So either letting the mayor's representative know or DFM would be 808-768-3343. Okay, so that would be the number to call and give them the address of the street then nearby. Okay, so this one, there was a Representative Joe Gideon asked me this on the side, but I don't see him tonight. Am I missing him? But he had asked about there was some work up at Mariners Ridge area and some erosion from a main break. So he was asking if I was aware of it, and sorry, I wasn't, so I had to ask about this. So for some of those that are in Mariners Ridge, there was so the Department of Facilities Maintenance, Department of Design and Construction, and this Board of Water Supply, we apologize for the delay in the response to the community regarding this concrete road repair of Kaluanui Road near Ka'ahue Street. So all 3 agencies we've met, and we're working to temporarily fix it, and we're planning for the design and design of the permanent solution. So we estimate work to investigate. We estimate work to investigate and install interim repairs will commence sometime in April. I guess that's this month, pending schedule availability of work crews and equipment. The completion of interim repairs depend on the extent of the subgrade issues found during the on-site excavation. And upon completion of the interim repairs, the road will be reopened. And permit construction will take approximately 3 years to design, obtain approval, agency approvals, and complete the solicitation process, the hiring of the construction and constructing it. So, and we'll assist those other agencies as needed. So they give me a number and a name to contact. The questions for that project would be to Cindy Cromwell of the DDC, Department of Design and Construction. That's cindy.cromwell@honolulu.gov. So if any of you guys are wondering about that. And thirdly, there was a Miss Rachel online. I'm not sure what her last name was. This is about the Kalama Valley work that's going on. She asked if there was a anticipated completion date. So the anticipated completion timeframe is early next year, barring any unforeseen circumstances. And then the question was about repaving the roadway from edge to edge, or is it just over the trench? So the paving width is just the width of the trench per our Board of Water Supply standard. So that's my 3 follow-up answers. And if there's any questions.
Questions for Iris? Herb?
Thank you very much. I just wanted to note that Representative Gideon is in the Capitol right now working, and he's supposed to have somebody online, so I don't know if they got it yet. That's what. Thank you.
Thank you. Hope they can share it with him. And
Thank you, Herb.
Yeah.
Can I?
Thanks.
Leo from Representative Gideon's office, would you like to respond? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So definitely appreciate that, Herb, and also thank you for the update from Board of Water Supply. Definitely do appreciate that. Just want to say real fast though that with the statement that you read, that came across our desk back in April 7th, I believe it was. And so just want to see if there's any further updates. I know you're saying it's going to take a long time, 3 years for the design phase and different things to be completed and different agencies to collaborate on this. But I believe this has been an ongoing issue since about September of last year. And there were some delineators installed. I think that's a reference to like the temporary fix type of thing, but they're fairly narrow. And we're hearing from constituents that because they're so narrow, some of the vehicles as they come through there are actually hitting these delineators and knocking them over. And so we just want to be really responsible about public safety and the awareness of kind of what's being done. Definitely totally understand it's not your folks' fault at Board of Water Supply, but we do want to collaborate with the different agencies to find a meaningful resolution. 3 years is, I mean, especially for folks that actually live there and their driveways are impacted by this, we just want to be able to see it from that perspective, right? And so if you folks can provide sort of more regular updates, I think that would be really helpful. Because again, a large concern is that because, say for example, the residents are at Manners Ridge, maybe they get forgotten throughout the month. And so, what is, say, government or government agencies doing to help them? So again, I appreciate the update. I just perhaps, and this is again from Representative Gideon, if there would be more clarity and transparency working with the different agencies, please.
Okay, thanks for the comment. So as if you got the information of Cindy Cromwell of DDC,
Yes.
Cindy.cromwell@honolulu.gov. She'll be the one, I guess, the point of contact on this, and would probably get you the best updates in a timely manner. But I will still give your concerns to our communications office and let them know. But in terms of a monthly update, I'll ask about that. But if it's not really our project, I'm not sure. We'll still have to probably ask her for the status. Anyway, yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Any other comments or questions for the Board of Water Supply? All right, thank you very much, Iris.
Thank you very
Appreciate your being here.
Okay, take care.
Okay. Next is our Kaiser Complex Schools. Mr. Gu, thank you for being here.
Good evening, board. Thank you so much for having us. I'm Cappy, and I'm here at Hawaiʻi, but I represent all Kaiser schools. We have a lot to report on. Our school, our students have been busy, achieving a great deal, and so I'll give you some updates. So, number one, we'd like to invite you to the Kaiser High School Hōʻike. It's like a May Day performance. It's going to be on May 1st at 6 p.m. So, a special invitation to the board if you'd like to attend. Also, it'll include a powerful Mauna Lua Oli performed by all students from all complex schools. So we'll all participate. Also, their commencement exercises are going to be May 22nd at 6:30 p.m. on the Kaiser campus on the field. This is the latest update on the Kaiser Visual and Performing Arts Complex. They just met today and concluded it this afternoon. So the update with company WRNS, they reported shared by and prepared by Ryder, Levitt, and Bucknall. So due to costs, $4 million cheaper, the final site is going to be on the Great Lawn fronting the library at Kaiser High School. So that's Mauka of the administration building. So the total estimated cost will be $65.5 million. Therefore, there's going to be two phases. So the first phase is through KVPAC, and that's going to be the auditorium with a cost of $50.6 million. And then the phase two will be the classroom building for dance, learning center, and visual arts. And that one's going to cost $15.03 million. So targeted groundbreaking phase one would be 2031 with an 18-month construction. And target groundbreaking phase two would be 2033. So there is a caveat, construction funds must be secured first. So next steps for WRNS will be toning, also determining spaces and rendering, and then HIDO facilities to review reports to advise WRNS before they begin drawings. There are projects in the queue also. Okay. Since that's a big topic, any questions on that? I wasn't at that meeting, but I can try to forward any questions.
Yes, just clarification. Construction on the auditorium is to begin in 2028 or 2031? You have 2028 on the sheet, but you mentioned 2031.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was an old one. So this is hot off the press. So ignore what I wrote on the sheet. So right now it will be groundbreaking 2031.
It's a long ways away.
Yes, it is. Yes, yes.
Okay. Sam?
Thank you for that update. That's very exciting. Do you have an idea of the total square footage of the new facility?
That I can get for you. Let me report that next month. So I'll talk about.
And those costs, regardless of inflation or what happens with tariffs, et cetera, the 65 million.
Yeah, I can also ask that question.
Starting in 5 years, and then you still have another segment 7 years from now.
That's true.
Hopefully we can.
I know they buffer in some give or take, mostly give, but in the construction fees for increased material costs, I believe it's like 10%. But let me double check on that. All I do know as far as square footage, it's supposed to go from that Great Lawn right below the library and go into the first level of the driveway. So kind of like right in front there, you know, and a little bit of ways from the administration building. It's where the Earth Fest was held, if you've been to the Earth Fest.
And can you also check on the anticipated capacity, seating capacity? Other questions for Mr. Gu just on this particular project?
Okay.
Paige, you have a question? Go ahead.
Hi, Cappy. Thank you so much for your report. So are there by any chance some preliminary plans or preliminary sketches or some kind of something that we could possibly look at that you could maybe send to us so we can sort of follow along with what you're talking about every time you give us an update? Like, I know that the final plans are probably not POW, but I mean, just something so we can see building size and position and all that kind of stuff. Is there something like that out there right now?
I do not have that right now, but I will check on that to see if there's any rendering. But I do know that they said next steps are going to be the rendering.
Okay.
And so
Yeah,
once we have
if you,
that, I can show it.
that would be great. Thank you. I mean, I'm just excited to see like what the progression has been from the talk until where we are now, which I know is drastic. And it would just be really nice to see what everybody's talking about and working on.
Yeah.
I think we're in the design phase right now, so any renderings are still to come.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
at
yeah.
least they've identified the location on campus, so that is a help.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank
definitely.
you so much, Cappy.
Yep. I'm open to any more questions, but let me just finish up. So Hawaii State Science and Engineering Fair, we had 3 students who performed there and placed. So Zoe Glazer and Olivia Park both took second in their category, and Vera Wang took first place in her category and third overall in the entire state. And she qualified to go to the International Science and Engineering Fair next month. And her project was on natural biodegradation of marine pollutants, a novel exploration of coconut fiber microbiome. So something that can help in our environment. So congratulations to those students. Science Olympiad team at the Pro City Invitational placed 5th overall. Our Oahu Math League placed 4th overall, and 2 students from Kaiser finished in the top 10, Xiao Long Kong and Leonard Cheung. Mock trial team were quarterfinalists. The robotics team won the Energy Award at the signature event in Monroe, Washington. Our ROTC were champions. They placed first in drill team. So congratulations to them. Also, our HOSA team placed first in phlebotomy and are competing at nationals pretty soon. We also had our team from Kaiser place 3rd in Japanese wizards competition. That's kind of like a trivia for Japan, items. Our Lady Cougar Tennis, they're OIA champions and OIA doubles champions. So congratulations to them. Gentlemen in tennis, they placed 2nd in the OIA and 2nd place for the doubles champions. And then Lady Cougars water polo, OIA champions again, so back to back. Yay. And then JV volleyball, 2nd place, OIA. So congratulations to all the sports at Kaiser. Yay. All right, New Valley also is having a May Day, but they're participating with Kaiser as well. They also have an 8th grade commencement exercise on May 28th. Haina Haina, also very festive and celebrating culture. They have their own Ho'ike on May 15th. Haheone has their May Day on May 13th. And special invitation to the board if you'd like to attend. And we have our 5th grade commencement program. Kamalawiki this year has a day of service on May 15th, and they're going to be at Kivava Wetlands. They also have a 5th grade commencement exercise. Cocoa Head will have a May Day on May 8th, and also a 5th grade commencement program. That's my report for tonight. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
I have a couple questions, Cappy. Thank you. For the Ho'ike on May 1st, where is it going to be, the Kaiser High School Ho'ike? In the gym
Yes,
or on the
that'll be in
lawn?
the gym.
In the gym, okay. And would we need to let this high school know if we would like to attend?
Yes, you can reach out to the email that's on their website. And so, or it can be Ann Olson, ann.olson@k12.hi.us.
All right, thank you.
That's their PCNC.
And just out of curiosity, do we know where the International Science and Engineering Fair is going to be held that Vera Wang will travel to?
I have to double check on that, but I believe it's in Phoenix. They rotate between 4 sites, so Pittsburgh, Phoenix, LA, and I think Indiana, but Phoenix, yes, you're right. Phoenix is the spot this year.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
It's so nice to hear about all the great things our students are doing. I mean, I have great hopes for the next generation.
Yeah, me too.
Any other questions for, yes, Lisa and then Herb?
Thank you for your report. I just had a comment. I was a special award judge at the science fair this year. I've been going for about the last 10 years. Every year is exciting. This year was phenomenal, I've got to say. And I got a chance to see the projects for all three, Zoe's, Olivia, and Vera's, but this year, for some reason, it was really, really phenomenal. And so I just wanted to, it's so exciting to see the brilliance that these students bring. So I compared to my science project when I was their age, and I'm just absolutely embarrassed. But it was really wonderful to see that this year. It's an exciting event, and they did a really good job at the Blaisdell Center. So just my comment. So thank you.
Well, thank you for volunteering your time and your industry expertise, because that counts towards us qualifying to send people to International Science Fair. So we can't do it without people like you. So thank you.
Thank you for your report every month. I really appreciate it. I want to bring up something else that's not on here that has actually just been put together. The Kaiser High School class of 1976 just celebrated their 50th reunion this past weekend. It was awesome. But we have a couple of graduates that are working with the administration to, they're inviting the classmates of 1976 to come to the commencement and be recognized. So if anybody's listening out there, you can contact me. My number is on the NCO website, and I will forward it to the two ladies that are heading it. So it was announced at the graduation. We just need to get names and info, because they're going to give us parking passes and a place to sit and all that. So thank you.
That is so special. Thank you so much for sharing that. And just what a milestone and anniversary, the 50th graduating class. Yeah, great.
Well, I also want to add, we're like a 2031 for this building. It was actually in the original plans when I went there in the early 70s. So a few more years, I don't know. But thank you guys for putting it together.
Paula, go ahead.
I just, I used to substitute there at Kaiser all the time. And Mrs. Ogilvy, she used to, or she did, or she does, run the drama department. Is she still there?
I am not certain about that, but I do remember. Yeah.
She would have them in this special dark place, and she collected egg cartons to put along the sides of the wall for the sound effects and things like that. And she was grateful that she didn't have to fill a whole auditorium for the productions. It was just a small room, and she was happy that she could fill that. And so it's a big deal. So congratulations to the school. I hope they can get it done.
Yeah. Lots of student pride and lots of educators with big hearts, just like Miss Ogilvy. So,
Mr. Gu, we have some questions online as
Okay.
well. Elizabeth and then Paige.
I just wanted to jump back to Vera Wang and how proud Livable Mauna Hui is. She collected resources from Kealvava Wetland, the Niu Grove. So we've been tracking and supporting her in all her competitions. And for anyone who's really interested in what that project is that won, we're going to have her on a show that airs on Alelo, and I'll be sure to let Chair Mayor know. It's a 30-minute show, and she'll get to talk all about that fabulous project that she did. It's probably going to be in a couple of months from now. So
Terrific.
Exciting. Go ahead, Paige.
Happy. So quick question. Do you by any chance know if Hawaiʻi is going to be having its rummage sale this year?
Thank you so much for asking that. We put it together just the last minute. There weren't too many people helping, but we are going to have a rummage sale, and that's going to be on not this week's Saturday, but next week, the following Saturday. Yeah, so it'll be on the 9th, May 9th. Yeah, so it'll be here. We're going to start early, open up around 7 a.m. and go all the way to 12:30.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Come check it out. 100% of the proceeds go to our student projects and things like that.
What time does it start? Did you say 7:30?
It's 7 a.m. and that'll be for early entry. There's a little bit fee if you want to go in early, and then end at about 12:30.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Gu, for sharing all of that exciting news. But remember, Herb did remind us, all of the community, that it's going to be 60 years before we see the Performing Arts Center, if it ever does come to fruition. So we want to make sure we monitor that progress. But thank you so much.
And fight for that next level of
Thank
funding.
you.
Yes. And
Thank you
also,
so much.
Kaiser Athletic Foundation is having a
I'm good.
fundraiser tonight at
Thank you.
Raising
Thank you
Cane's.
so
So
much.
after this,
Okay. I don't hear anything.
Sorry about that, technical difficulties. Galen Wong, you're online. Is there any update from the Department of Transportation?
Yeah, good evening, Chair Mayor and Neighborhood Board. They didn't get back to me on those two things from last month, the adding new trash cans at the lookout parking and also the traffic backup at Hanama Bay. They've been pretty busy with all the um cleanup of the Honolulu storms and stuff like that. So I have to get back to you next month.
Okay, that's all right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you for attending. All right, we're going to be moving on to our community announcements. First of all, board members, do you have any community announcements? Elizabeth, go ahead.
Thank you. I wanted to mention that on May 9th, on Saturday at Kiavava Wetland, it'll be open for a community work day. Please come on out. And I also wanted to mention and give a shout out to Hawaii Kai Strong, Hawaii Wildfire Management Organization, and Team Rubicon. This past week, we've been doing fire break work in Mariners Cove and then also in the very back of Kamilinui Valley. So if anybody starts getting nervous with what's happening in the back of Kamilinui Valley, Livable Manalua Hui, Aloha Aino Kamilinui, Hawaii Kai Strong with volunteers have been widening the fire breaks that we have back there. And this is all again under the direction of Hawaii Wildfire Management Organization and in partnership with Mariners Cove, Kamilinui Valley, Kamehameha Schools, and also Royal Construction. So there's still more work that's being done. It'll continue on through the weekend. But I wanted to give a shout out to Team Rubicon in particular for the great work that they've been doing on a volunteer basis with other community members. Thanks.
All right, those of you who have an announcement, please come on up.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Park with Hawaiʻi Advocates for Respectful Development, and I'm very pleased to announce that we did get Kamehameha Schools approval, so we are moving forward on our open house at the James Building on Saturday, May 10th, which seems to be a very busy day, but I hope that people will come after the rummage sale or after cleaning up or before cleaning up, because our event will run only from 10 to about 11:30. We're going to
It's May 9th.
May 9th. Did I say the wrong thing? Sorry, I meant May 9th. It'll start at 10 o'clock a.m. and end at 11:30. We're going to start off with a short program and want to thank this board as well as our elected officials for this area, starting with Chair Tommy Waters, who we really appreciate his attempt to get $34 million in the city budget to purchase or acquire the James property. And I'm sure he'll talk more about it tonight. We also plan to have our state representatives, Joe Gedeon and Mark Hashem there, and State Senator Chris Lee, and staff from Senator Stanley Chang's office. And we will be posting an online survey, which we hope that attendees and others will be able to take on the hard website at hawaioneadvocates.com. It'll be posted on or about May 9th, because the whole purpose of this tour, as well as the survey, is to hear from the community as to what they would like to see at that site, on that in that building. And when you drive past this historic building, it might not look like much because it's so subdued and hidden by the trees. But if you have an opportunity to go inside, like you will on 2 Saturdays from now, I encourage you to do so, because you're going to feel like you're living in a treehouse. It's beautiful. All the windows that open out right into the trees that surround the building. It's just gorgeous, and you can see back into the valley. It is a big property. There is so much potential for what it can be used for, and that's why I'm really excited to hear about the rest of this evening's program, because one of the big things we've been talking about is having a community center like year-round, but it can also operate in times of need as a community resiliency hub to provide post-disaster relief. The rest of the year, we can do research, training, education. So those are some of the things that have been suggested, but we want to hear from the community as to what ideas they have, whether they like these ideas or they have new ideas. And so we have at the table in front of Tommy Waters, a flyer that talks about our event and gives the website, and encourage you to pick it up and pass it out to everybody because we're hoping for a big turnout. Thank you so much.
Other community announcements? Come on up.
Aloha, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Kahi Picaro. I am running for State House of Representatives for a portion of this district, District 19, that's currently in Mark Hashem's hands. I just want to say a couple things. Live Mauna Lua Hui. I just participated in an event at Hawaiʻi Wetlands, and they're doing a great job there, and I really appreciate them opening that space up for the community. I went as the chair of the community of the Clean Water and Natural Lands Commission, where we protected lots of land in both this area, along with Kuli'o'o and Ainahaina. She was talking quickly about the fire mitigation. So I'm doing a lot of this canvassing where you just walk and knock on doors. And there are goat grazers. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this, but in Wailaiki, they are utilizing goats as a fire mitigating protocol. So that might be something to look into. And then lastly, I'm hosting a talk story. So I wanted to invite the community to Kuli'o'o Beach Park from 3 p.m. to sunset this Saturday to come talk story and learn more about who I am. Mahalo.
All right, thank you. Are there any other candidates? Please come up and introduce yourself.
Thank you for saying you'll be at the event, which Cheryl so well announced. Many of us don't understand all of the complexities of elections. You're running for an office. You mentioned Mark Hashem, but he's not opposing you. So who exactly are the candidates? What's the office? When does it begin? What are the terms of election? Thank you.
And you have just 30 seconds to respond.
Yeah, so I'm running in the primary against Mark Hashem as a Democrat. The primary, your mail-in ballots go out at the end of July, and they're due by August 8th. If I get through there, which I hope I do, then the general election is in November.
All right, thank you very much. Other candidates for it? Elizabeth, did you have a question or?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
For Kahi, about Sandy Beach and the restoration work that you with under Parlay has been doing, and I'm assuming you're going to continue to have that done. It's absolutely an amazing project and adds to the overall Kaiwi Coast care. So just double checking on that.
Yeah,
30
thanks.
Just 30
30
seconds.
seconds. I'm going to use all of it then. So thank you, Elizabeth. I really appreciate that reminder. I kind of forget of all the things that I'm doing in our community. I've adopted a park at Sandy Beach at Vavamalu. If anybody's been there, if you go into Sandy's, you take a hard right, you end at a yellow gate. It used to be a dump. Now it's a beautiful park. Please go check it out. We are celebrating our 5-year of restoring that piece of property. And I invite everybody to come out on World Oceans Day. That's going to be June 6th from 4 p.m. to sunset. So please come on down, mark your calendars. I'd love for everybody to come out there and celebrate 5 years of turning a dump site into, in my opinion, the coolest park in the state.
Thank you.
I'm biased though.
Come on up.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Jason Liang. I'm running for City Council. I'll be around after the meeting to answer any questions or if you'd like to hear more about my platform. And I know Council Chair Waters is here tonight, but I promise we'll play nice. Thank you.
Are there any other community members who would like to announce their candidacy for office? All right. Any other community announcements? We have somebody online also. While you're coming up, I'm going to ask Steve Daniels to unmute yourself. Go ahead. Steve?
Yes.
Excuse me. Steve Davidson, go ahead.
Yes. Aloha. I'm Steve Davidson. I'm a race director with Mid-Pacific Roadrunner Club. And I'm very excited to announce a race that we'll be doing on June 6th in Kalama Valley. It's the Ho'okela 5K. It's to benefit HPCA, which is the Hawaii Primary Care Association, which runs 16 clinics for underserved and vulnerable communities. And the event will be a 5K run, timed race, flat, fast course, running into the valley, making a loop and coming down Kealoha towards Sandy's about halfway and back to Kalama Valley Community Park. We expect about 100 to 150 runners. And we hope some of you will come out and join us.
Could you please repeat the date?
It is
And the
June
time?
6th.
And the time?
Starts 7 a.m. And the last runners and walkers, strollers should be done around 8 a.m.
All right. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you all.
All right. Come on up. Introduce yourself.
Aloha makako. My name is Dylan Brown. I'm the director of Ocean Alliance Project. We're a nonprofit here in Mauna Lua working on protecting, preserving our marine biodiversity through coral restoration, ecological monitoring, regenerative tourism, and also integrating Hawaiian cultural values and place-based stewardship into westernized science. Just announcing that next month, the last 2 weekends, that's going to be May 23rd, the 24th, and then again, the 30th and the 31st, we run Kama'aina programs that are free for people to get involved, learn how to, work with coral restoration, work in this realm of ecological monitoring, and learn some new technological skills of how to monitor our substrate. As of right now, these are scuba diving programs, so you do need to have a scuba diving certification. But we are working on actually building this up for the free diving community, because I promise there are a lot more free divers than there are scuba divers here. So if that's something you're interested in, or if you know people that are interested in that, please go to our website. Under our Get Involved section, you'll see a tab for the Kama'aina programs. I encourage anybody that's interested or passionate or eager to learn to get involved so that we can do good work together. Mahalo.
Thank you. Well, thank you to all of our community folks. Any other announcements? All right. Is there anybody who wanted to introduce a public generated issue? This is something that is not on our agenda, but that the community would like to bring to our attention. Paula?
I'm glad that you're here, Tommy, because you're our. Okay, so when I am driving on Kalanianaʻoli Highway toward town from Hawaii Kai, I come up to a traffic light that's I'm watching it. It's going 40, 44, 43, 42. The light turns yellow. I would like to know why this light, and there's another light in town where I think it's actually downtown on Beretania Street, that counts down double digits, but then I mean, I'm seeing that and I'm thinking, oh, I got 40 seconds to go. No, you don't. But I feel like it's kind of like they're trying to catch somebody at something. And I do remember when HPD had to turn on their blue lights. They couldn't surprise anybody on the road by coming up behind them and turning on their blue light. They had to have them on if they were on patrol. And in a way, I kind of feel like this is something that's like that. And I would like to know why that's happening and what's the point. So I know you'll need to find that out for me, but that's it.
Okay, we're going to be moving on to our presentations. And tonight, oh, yes. Sure, come on up.
Okay, my name is Adrienne King, and I know several people here. And this is a problem that I'd like to point out, especially to the city and the state. When I drive along Kalani Highway by the Blowhole Lookout, that wall, the rock wall that goes down to the beach, which is, I call it Here to Eternity Beach because that's where they filmed it, or Cockroach Cove. That whole side, I think, is very dangerous, and I think the issue needs to be addressed. There's a sign, there was a step that says, so it seems like it's inviting people to go down, and there's a sign that says, danger, do not go. Well, the sign is totally obliterated. And if you look, there are people that have started walking in the middle and not only on the side. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, you know, the rain, you could start having a rock fall. It's what you call an attractive nuisance. And I would, you know, someone who's defended the city, I would not, it's a problem. That's a problem that needs to be addressed, and you cannot keep people from that beach. And then when I was driving to check it, I looked on the Mauka side, and the rain has caused landslide. And there's some rocks that are right on the shoulder, and you can see the bottom of the vegetation because the water has caused the dirt to come down onto right there on the side. If you go on the Mauka side, right across from the Blowhole Lookout parking lot. So I would, and also the railings along, they're sort of rusted, that whole stretch. Some of them are okay, but other ones, you know, I think that's probably the state that needs to take care of those rusted guardrails. But on both sides, that's something that I think needs to be looked into and fixed. And I think when you go driving there, you'll see what I mean. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adrienne. Galen, I think you're still online. I think that this might be an issue for the state as opposed to the city. I'm not sure if the city is responsible for that highway. I think it's the state. So the issue is that the area around that Cockroach Cove, she mentioned rusted guide rails.
Guardrails. Yeah.
Yeah, the guardrails and also the stone wall. So, and some of the possible rocks becoming loose along that cliff wall.
Okay. Well, I'll have the people check on those locations
Okay,
and see
thank
what
you.
we can do about the guardrails. I'm pretty sure that they have something programmed for the guardrail replacements and stuff like that. So I'll check on those things.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Another public issue?
Oh, you can go online first.
I'm sorry. Leo, you had your hand up?
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yeah, something for Galen and his team. So let's see. I reached out to Department of Transportation back in, this looks like an email I sent April 8th. I sent some pictures regarding exactly what Adrian is talking about. That section, you know, call it what you want, right? Cockroach Cove, or whatever it is. And then also Malka side, it looks like there's some medium-sized rocks that had come down. And again, I think what I said was just be advised that there's some water that's pooling down there. That's kind of like the vegetation or the growth. And what we don't want is for it to turn into a much larger public safety concern. And so this is just us trying to be proactive. Again, that was at the beginning of the month.
Who did who
I
did you
sent it to,
send it to?
yep, I sent it to Kelly, and then Kelly asked Ryan Nakata from
Right.
HDOT to get involved. Never heard back from Ryan, so I resent an email last week. Still haven't heard from Ryan. And look, I'm, you know, please understand, for those that like Tom and other folks there that know me, I'm definitely not trying to throw any shade or anything like that. But let me know, you know, let our office know, what can we do to be more proactive for the residents of Hawaii Kai? Like that's really what it
Um,
comes down to. Help us to collaborate so we
okay,
can
you
work
know
on this
what?
together.
Send the stuff to my email, galen.wong@hawaii.gov, and then I can follow up on all those things. So send me those pictures and whatever, then I'll follow up with Ryan, because he's the one that I usually work with on all these issues that you guys have been bringing up. But if not, then I can always talk to these other staff.
Okay, thank you so much, Galen. I appreciate your follow-up.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Hello, my kako, Tara Malia Gregory, City Council candidate for District 4, this district here. Mahalo, Mr. Waters. I just have 3 quick questions. I was at the neighborhood board for Waikiki the other day, and I just had a question about the emergency management planning. I know the emergency proclamation was put out 4 days before the Kona lows hit, and then it wasn't until 3 days after that the city actually moved on it. I do have some pamphlets over there. We were able to mobilize within 24 hours to help surrounding, including, you know, on the Alawai when that overflow happened, and just kind of down the road, and then of course to the other parts where it's on the west side and here as well. My question is, what is the plan now? The last time I was at this neighborhood board, we did speak about HICO having a plan for if in the event that Kalaniana Ole Highway is flooded or there's fires that are similar to other tragedies we've experienced recently within the past 3 years, what is that plan? From what I've seen, nothing has been done as far as HICO is concerned. I have reached out to the city as well. So I would like to know that plan. I did go to the website you mentioned, and there really isn't a plan rollout as far as how are we mobilizing. I know there's something that was brought up that potentially the James building would be turned into some sort of resiliency hub. Location-wise, that doesn't really make sense in the event of an emergency. So that's my question. When I asked HICO directly, when we asked regarding the sirens, I don't know if you know, our sirens are broken often. I went on the website. There's a website you can check to see sirens around all the islands, and you have to keep up with them. Approximately 90% of the sirens are broken, and there's no clear plan of action. What does one long siren mean? What is multiple? Are there different ways that we can educate people about that? That's the first question. And then HICO was basically told that they would get back to me about they couldn't guarantee that water would come out of a hose and that the siren would go off because of some pressure that's underneath the infrastructure that needed to be corrected. So I don't know if that could be addressed today. That's the main pending issue. The second issue is just regarding bathrooms. I know we have Sandy's right here, but in Waikiki it is a big deal. You did propose something to the Waikiki board, and I'm not sure. Oh, yes, sir.
Point of order. This is when Council Chair Waters comes up, and then she can ask her
Oh,
questions.
perfect.
Thank
Okay,
you.
great.
well, I was going to
Yes,
say,
I'll
you
yield.
could expect your response.
Yes,
during
yes,
this
sir.
time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. All right. Yeah. So I yield.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to be moving on to our first presentation tonight, and this is on Community Climate Mandate for East Oahu. Our presenter is Aloha McGuffey, and she is the CCM-Executive Officer of the Steering Committee and Executive Vice President of Ulumau and an at-large member of the Waikiki Neighborhood Board. So aloha, and welcome.
Mahalo, Chair and members of the Hawaiʻi Neighborhood Board. I'd like to also introduce Leanna Lamb. She is with me tonight as a Kiska Hui member, and she is with Kaimuki Middle School and does a lot of good work in our community too. She's going to be helping in case we have any questions to help take notes and keep me on schedule. But, you know, after listening to everyone here this evening, Chair, I think you are the model. Hawaii Kai is the model for what we're trying to accomplish. And if you take a look at the map that I have on the screen, you'll see that Hawaii Kai on the eastern border of the East Honolulu Sustainable Communities Plan, and if you look at the plan itself, is doing a remarkable job. I was also very impressed with hard Hahaiʻi advocates working on their community resiliency hub. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And Honu Aina here, Honu Aina Nichols is from Serene, and she'll be talking a little bit about that too. And we work together as well. But mahalo nui for all the great work that you're doing here in the District of Hawaii Kai. I'm from the, excuse me? Oh, the presentation is off. Well, while you're fixing that, I'll just share a little bit. I'm from the valley of Waiahole. And so if you are driving around the island and have had plate lunch at the Waiahole Poi Factory, this was a few years ago, you probably had plate lunch from my auntie and my uncle. And living in the valley, you know, it really opens your eyes up to what we now call sustainability. It's really about taking care of not just the people, but the Aina as well. So I'm here to talk a little bit about a project that we're working on called the Climate and Resiliency Mandate for East Oahu. And I believe it's kind of the first initiative that's being introduced for this part of the island of Oahu. East Oahu, as you can see from our map, is really connected by two major natural resources, the Ko'olau Mountains watershed. We share our water on this side of the island, which includes Palolo, Kaimuki, all the way through to Hawaii Kai, and on the opposite side of this point of the island with Waimanalo. And I think it was Elizabeth who taught me that we must include Waimanalo because Hawaii Kai or Mauna Lua is part of the Ahupua'a of Waimanalo. And so this living community framework is a new thing that was just started recently. And now, Anson, if you could just move us over to the next. We recognized that because we do share Mauka to Makai rainforest down to our coral reefs, Dylan, thank you for your presentation, all the good work that you're doing, that it's important for all of us to collaborate because the waters that flow from Mauka to Makai ends up in either the Mauna Lua Bay or it ends up in Waimanalo Bay. Anson. So how did we start this discussion on the mandate? We brought together in September of 2025 a group of 100 people, and they represented residents, educators, cultural practitioners, businesses, and government partners. And we discovered that there were great ideas that existed for building resilient communities in East Oahu. All we need to do is collaborate and coordinate and align ourselves between what we're now discovering is we need to coordinate with our 6 neighborhood boards of East Oahu. The mandate also is rooted in the Kiska Hui. And for those of you who are not familiar with Kiska, and some of you were did actually attend our symposium, Kiska stands for Kahala Initiative for Sustainability, Culture, and the Arts. And it was formed in 2022. And I've got to thank, again, Chair Waters, Tommy Waters, for actually opening up our eyes. We invited him to speak, to educate our Kiska Hui members. At that time, we probably had about 20 members. And he said, one of the things that, that was quite new to us was that our district had 2 different government plans, the East Honolulu Sustainable Communities Plan and the Primary Urban Center Development Plan. And that was an awakening. So we put together a plan of the 2 plans called the Plan to Thrive. And this was sponsored by Kahala Hotel and Resort. And Kahala Hotel and Resort is our primary sponsor for the Kiska Hui. And they organized this symposium, helped to fund. It was an all-free event that people were able to come for over a 2-day period. We had 10 round tables. And Chair, you were part of our waste management roundtable. And I think, Lisa, you were part of the oceans, resilient oceans table and so forth. So people got together for 2 whole days, came up with some fantastic ideas, and we now have a draft of the mandate. And this mandate is actually, Anson has already uploaded it to the website. So if all of you could please download the mandate draft and take a look at it, because in the next meeting, May 26th, is it May 26th? Excuse me. Yes, May 26th, the next neighborhood board, we will be actually reviewing and engaging with you in a conversation regarding this particular mandate. Since the symposium, a steering committee was formed, and they are now responsible for managing the continued development of the mandate, implementation, and working with Kiska Hui members as well as other community members in East Oahu to finalize the plan. Next, oops, you're too far ahead. We're going to go to why this matters to East Oahu. So why does it matter? It matters because climate change is already here. We've all experienced 3 Kona low storms, and we recognize that there are real challenges, real local challenges that require real local solutions. We've had flooding and wildfires, reef and watershed impacts, strong winds and power outages, coastal erosion, and sea level rise. Dylan, you probably see a lot of that coastal erosion happening along in our reefs. And again, Hawaiʻi is a real model, and I'd like to bring into the room tonight as well, Palolo, Kaimuki, Wailai, Kahala, Kuli'o'o, Kalani'iki, and Waimanalo. Together, we make up East Oahu, and so it's important that we collaborate. We also need to have a place-based solution. East Oahu is different from West Oahu. We have different priorities. In fact, each of our 6 communities in East Oahu have different priorities. And so it's important that we take a look at these priorities and try to come up with a plan that will help all of East Oahu. As I said, Hawaii Kai is a model, and you're probably wondering, how does your voice or my voice actually make a difference in terms of government funding decisions, infrastructure development, establishing long-term priorities? How do we get those real outcomes? And what you're doing here in Hawaii Kai is certainly an answer and a solution. But I'm hoping that we can now share, expand your great ideas from Hawaii Kai and move it forward to other communities in East Oahu. Almost there. All right. So, okay. So the mandate is based on 3 values: malama, to care for our communities; kuleana, let's have a shared responsibility for East Oahu; ho'omau, let's sustain the goodness that's here and continue it, and to continue to build a resilient East Oahu. So this mandate is not a one-time effort. In fact, our goal is to 2050. We want communities to help us to lead. Every voice is important, and we want the mandate to evolve as conditions change. So here are some examples of opportunities to participate directly in the mandate. There are many nonprofit organizations and other agencies, government agencies as well, that are available for us to work in. Watershed restoration with Ko'olau Mountains Watershed Partnership, stream cleaning and maintenance. This is one of the bigger problems that we have. I notice every time that we have a heavy rain and the streams flood, we have opala coming down the canals and the streams that end up in our bay, Mauna Lua Bay and Waimanalo Bay, and onto our coral reefs. We don't have a community-led group, a hui. I lived in Manoa for 9 years, and I was part of the group that started Be Ready Manoa. And we there for 30 years had a stream cleaning group every month, once a month for Saturday, to help to clean the streams. The mandate also calls for stream cleaning and canal cleaning, which is a huge problem all the way along. Reef and shoreline protection, local agriculture and food security, neighborhood disaster preparedness, and this is where your community resilience hub that you're proposing here in Hahaiʻione will be very, very important. I hope that we can also have another 1 or 2 resilient hubs in East Oahu. We're talking now about having some on the other side of our East Honolulu border. And next. Now, okay. So at this meeting, we're here to first introduce you to the plan. Again, I've uploaded, Anson has uploaded the plan. You can take a look at it. And then come back on May 26th. We're going to take a quick survey, and then we're going to have a discussion. I'd love to hear your input and feedback on the plan so that we can move forward with finalizing the plan and then starting to work on the implementation of that plan. And that is it. Thank you very much for the opportunity to introduce the plan to you. And if you have any questions, I'd love to. We don't have a website. This is a new initiative that we're just starting. But I'm hoping one day to have a Kiska Hui website. But right now we don't have a website, but if you're interested in getting more information, you can certainly email me at aloha.hui mc.mcguffie, mcguffie at ulumau, ulumau.com.
Are there, thank you, Aloha, so much. Are there questions for Aloha on the presentation? I have, yeah, I have a question, a couple comments. Aloha did send the draft plan and I've shared it with the board members. I'm not sure how I could get it out to a larger audience, but certainly if you contact me, I'd be able to share it with you. Aloha, what kind of a timeline do you have for responses to the plan? And
Well,
or how are you going to be soliciting
Yeah, so we're
input?
meeting with the 6 neighborhood boards twice from now through July. Then the Kiskahui and the steering committee will review all the comments and input for the plan. Hawaii Green Growth it's a nonprofit organization that's responsible for managing the state's Aloha Plus goals, the 6 Aloha Plus goals. They then will look at it to see how it aligns with the state's goals. Then we will hopefully finalize it by the end of this year. So by the end of this year, we'll finalize the plan, then next year we'll start to roll it out. We'll start forming committees within these 6 communities, and hopefully, we'll get a lot of participation. So we'll be doing a lot of different community outreach programs for next year to get people involved in the various committees that we need to put together in order to implement the plan.
Now, Aloha, you had indicated that you wanted to return to the board for a follow-up presentation. Could I ask at that time that you provide a summary of the draft plan, not
Sure.
the whole thing, but a summary of, what it covers, some of the highlights, so that the community can become familiar with that?
Okay.
And then I'll also ask the board members to review the document that I sent to you so that perhaps we have some things that we can share at that meeting for you. Is that
Sure.
all right?
That's great. And I think Anson has already uploaded the plan. So for those of you online or here, if you would go to the Hawaii Kai Neighborhood Board, what is it called? The Neighborhood Board website for the Neighborhood Commission office website. It's there. Maybe Anson, you can direct them.
It's on our Google Drive on our agenda. It has a link. It just says Google Drive. Yeah, it's all gonna be posted onto there. So we're good.
Okay, good. Thank you. But it does have the roundtable findings that were gathered in the symposium. It also has pathways to action. How do we want to move forward with some of those challenges? And then the implementation and metrics. So it shows how we're going to be implementing ideas that were brought up at the roundtable for each of those topics.
All right, questions from the board or members of the audience? Could you please come on up to ask your question online, please, so that our viewing audience can hear your question?
Thank you. What is your structure? Are you a nonprofit, a government-funded organization, or like us, a grassroots organization?
It started off simply as a little group that was put together by the Kahala Hotel and Resort. So it's not a nonprofit. It's just a grassroots kind of an organization. And it started off with people from Kamehameha schools, and they still are very much involved because they own the land under the Kahala Hotel and much of the land in East Oahu. It also includes many nonprofit organizations. Malama Mauna Lua was one of the founding members of our Kiskahui. And so it's pretty much a grassroots, it's grown into a grassroots organization. And so today we have about 150 members, and we are all connected through what we call a base camp. It's an online application that you can download, and we use Basecamp as our communication platform. And we house all of our documents. So if you're interested in becoming a Kiska Hui member, I'd be happy to take your email address and add you to Kiska. And Liana is part of our Kiska Hui member, and so is Lisa and Elizabeth and others. So happy to add anyone in. Dylan, I don't think you're on. Are you on the Kiska member? Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, okay, okay. But that's where we house all of our documents, and we have messaging. We can message each other. You can ping each other. You can have groups. You can send out announcements and so forth. So this particular initiative is a grassroots initiative. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so just pass.
All right, we have another question. Come on up.
Just have two questions. Sorry, I'll go like this. One of the thank you. Oh, there it is. Are there other proposed locations in that document that you have up aside from possibly the James building location regarding the resiliency hubs?
Not yet, but I think Honu will be able to address that because she'll be talking about the resiliency hubs next. Yeah.
You know, I'm frequently actually in Waimanalo at the Ahupua'a at the Nation of Hawaiʻi, and we're doing a lot of work there. And you did mention that as part of the plan or the foresight. Is more information about that plan and the extent to how we're going to facilitate that in this area? Because I'm really interested in that.
Well, I'm actually going to be meeting with the Waimanalo Neighborhood Board in June and again in July. And Kimiona Kane, the chair, actually participated in the symposium for 2 days and he was part of the waste management round table. So we'll be looking to him because of his 800 cleanups, a group that he helps to direct. So we'll work with him on that. We also had a wonderful speaker at the symposium from IO, Dwayne Karisu. And he talked a little bit about the houseless community up in the valley. And so I'm hoping, Auntie Blanche, I'm hoping that we can work with her as well. But I will get more information when we are meeting with Waimanalo Neighborhood Board as well. Yeah. Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Aloha, and we'll look forward to a follow-up next month.
Mahalo nui to all of you. Thank you.
All right, our second presentation tonight is about Oahu Community Resilience Hubs. And our presenter is Honu Aina Nichols from the Serene Sustainability Lab in partnership with the City and County of Honolulu Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency. Welcome, Honu. Thank you for being here tonight.
Aloha nui kākou. My name is Honu Aina Nichols. I grew up in Mauna Lua, so it's very cool to be presenting here today about climate resilience and to follow up with Aloha. As Hawaiʻi Kai Neighborhood Board is a model, I can just continue to affirm that, especially after that past symposium for East Honolulu climate resilience. What a beautifully diverse group of people that actually had actionable working tables. Yeah, very productive meetings. I ended up in the policy hui, which normally, people don't want to talk policy. I can talk policy. But today I want to talk about the Oahu Resilience Hub Learning Community. Ooh, thank you. We are a community of practice dedicated to supporting the development of resilience hubs on Oahu and connecting the ecosystem of resilience surrounding them. So I'm very amped, for lack of better words, hearing the need, the urgency around climate resilience, around emergency preparedness. We do not need more disruptions to know that we need to start working together and knowing who our people are in our community. Next slide, please. So what is a resilience hub? This took us a while, so we've been meeting monthly every third Thursday at 3 p.m. and I'll say that throughout this entire 10 minutes. When did I start? Sorry. It took us a while as a community to reach this definition. So this was a voted definition with all of our hub learning community members. So what is a resilience hub? A trusted gathering site or group that supports year-round community resilience and during a disruption activates to support a coordinated response. Lots of words. A simpler way to explain it so that we also break down barriers of maybe I'm not a resilience hub. Yes, you are. 6 people who care and the rest is equipment is also a resilience hub. If you just have friends that get together and do wetland work days, that are adopting parks, that are taking care of your space around you, we need you in this community so that we can work together and know what you guys are already doing so that we can bring each other up. Next slide, please. We have this concept when you enter into our community of blue skies and gray skies. It's fairly intuitive. The hubs that meet during the blue skies activity can look like nursing care, food, churches, brick and mortar structures. So what we understand of what happens in a disaster, going to a cafeteria, going to a church, those are resilience hubs, yes. But you do not need to have a building, a podium, a site to be a resilience hub. Maybe you can partner with a facility and have a really good, trusted group of folks that will be in your community, blah, blah, blah. Making sense? All right, next slide, because I think we're picking it. We have gray skies, which would be, oops, thank you, what resilience hubs do in disasters. So there's 2 organizations. There's us, the Serene Oahu Hub Learning Community, that community of practice. We provide that consistent space for you in the blue skies to learn, to throw us your questions, to say, this happened recently, what do we do? That's the consistent community of space practice. Vibrant Hawaiʻi, who is our partner, teaches the individual hubs or the network of hubs how to activate during a Kona low storm, during a wildfire, for example. We work in partnership so that we're prepared all around. Next slide, please. I will go into this a little bit more. Yes. Already done that one, thank you. The Hub Learning Community Mission Concept. So I am a community staff assistant and we have a team of about 5 students. We have research core leaders with Kapi'olani Community College, some grad students at University of Hawaiʻi. Myself, I'm a community staff assistant. I worked as the climate change education coordinator out in Haleiwa with Malama Loko Ea Foundation. And that's how I met Dr. Miku Lenentine, who got me into Serene, into this climate resilience project. It's because I worked in Aina, I wanted to steer that Aina be centered in those conversations, because working at this nonprofit organization, I knew all of these things: food, community, education, water, simple things that we're missing are generators. That told me that we were a resilience hub, but we don't have a site, but we have a lot of land. Next slide, please. This is a joint program with Serene and Lahui Foundation. Lahui Foundation is really prominent out in Ko'olauloa with the amazing assistance and help from Atalina Pasi and then Auntie Melissa and Uncle Carlos. They are too busy for their own goods right now. They've been busy all month with the Kona low storm, pushing out resources and really just showing what community, exactly what we know, that community is always going to be there for us. They always show up. And now we're just getting really good at it. And the Oahu Hub Learning Community is a space where we can get good at it together. Next slide, please. These are some more of our partners. So we're for like 2 years old. We're growing incredibly and we want to keep growing. So if you're not on this list, I have QR codes that you can scan to a number of Google Forms. Next slide, please. All right, the HLC aims to support hubs, individual hubs specifically, by fostering continuous learning, build cross-sector partnerships through monthly gatherings, strengthen and coordinate working groups, expand island-wide education and outreach, elevate intergenerational leadership and engagement, connect hubs to each other, partners, training, certifications, funding, and resources, and just build this overall sense of community and belonging for hubs. Next slide. This is kind of a visual. I had already explained this. So the hub learning community supports individual hubs, micro networks, including the Kaimuki microgrid project over here, and its specific regions. We do not activate, but we can connect you to all the people who can tell you how to. We will tell you, and we can certify you. Recently, this past month, we certified maybe 35 people in psychological first aid completely for free. And next month we'll have a FEMA certification. And so if there are things that you want that would empower you, certifications, other things, please let us know. My name is honoina@gmail.com. You can please let us know so I can work to get money so that we can get those certifications more broadly expanded. And then Vibrant Hawaii activates. Next slide so that I don't take up too much time. Visually, this is also what it looks like. So individual hubs can come, for example, in your ahupua'a. For me, from doing this work, like in your ahupua'a, in your moku, there should be more than one hub. There needs to be more than one hub. There needs to be 10 hubs in one region, right? So that we can actually uplift each other. And once you enter into the conversation, we all have equal amount of ability to ask questions and then to provide solutions and then resource share. Next slide, please. All right, this is the first QR code I was talking about. This is the hub learning community to get onto our email list. Some of its benefits include invitations to monthly virtual meetings that would be facilitated by myself, along with Dr. Miku and Atalina Pasi, access to practical tools, templates, and best practices, opportunities to learn from guest speakers, connection to Oahu's ecosystem of hub support. Like in the Kona Low storm, we were able to, like our leadership team, we're sending messages that could allow us to further send Lahui Foundation's resources through their community more personally. And that's that kind of grassroots intimacy that we can get through this community. Early access to funding opportunities, participation in collective efforts to align policy. We have actually a bill that's going up through Congress right now. So there's beautiful discussion happening with what a resilience hub is, and you should be a part of it. If you want to find your friends and find a place, we can tell you, we can help to uplift your resilience hub. Next slide, please. This is our community of practice, also visually. We have the resilience hubs, and then we have our general members. Right now, we have a leadership team that we just had voted on. We have the co-coordinators and staff, and then every month we have working groups. We have faith-based working groups. We have next gen working professionals, so our students can also join the conversation. We have a welcome room, so it's very lax. That's funny. I cannot stress how actually relaxed this space is. It's a very nice welcome space. And then we have INA hubs and then CERT hubs. And then as you enter, you can also help us to create better working groups. Next slide, please. This is our advisory council, currently with Sarah Harris from CCSR, Jason Sean from CCSR, Jennifer Walters, I can't read, I'm so sorry, Alex Noranos, John Vieira, Derek Ariyoshi, Christy Nishida, and Renee Spain. I do apologize, I can't read that far and I don't have my glasses. Next slide, please. This is my favorite slide. If you do want to become a hub, I would like you to please sign up as your individual hub or even just yourself, and then you can start to flood in your members that way. This is going to help me to organize. I'm in charge of the outreach for Resilience Hubs. We have a Resilience Hub Summit coming up in June 5th and 6th at Camp Palehua. And so there's still time for you to come. We are offering stipends to participants who are able to show up because we respect your local expertise and we respect your time and your labor because you're taking time out of your day to do climate readiness work. And we want to, again, support you and your efforts. as we work together as a community. So take some time to scan this QR code. Yes, thank you. Yes, it is https, oh gosh, / go dot Hawaii dot edu / V as in Victor, N as in Nancy, M as in Mary. go.hawaii.edu / Victor, Nancy, Mary. And then this is a slide or QR code for our upcoming meeting. No pressure because they're every third Thursday at 3 p.m. And these are a list of our working groups. Again, our guest speaker is to be determined, but that is a Google form to sign up. Once you get into the community, you don't need to do these monthly forms and sign up. You'll just get the Zoom link sent to you. So please come and join us, ask questions, raise issues. Any questions currently? Mahalo.
Thank you very much, Honu, for the presentation. I'd like to ask you, do we have any recognized hubs in Hawaii Kai?
In Hawaii Kai? Not that has filled out that registration yet. We actually, from Hawaii Kai that I know, we have a lot of CERT hubs. So who is it? Matt Glee. Matt Glee is a part of our hub community, and he's a part of CERT and Hawaii Kai Strong. That's what it is. So Hawaii Kai Strong. And so Matt has been a pretty consistent member, but I still need to get him to also sign up his Resilience Hub too. Yes.
Okay, questions. Greg and then Lisa.
Yeah, I was wondering how you coordinate and complement without complicating all the work that the Red Cross already does. It would seem like this would add an extra step in some ways to opening shelters, to getting resources out to people who need it. Because the Red Cross has a remarkable network already of volunteers, and they respond immediately. This sounds a little casual to be able to respond in such a manner.
Yes. So for clarity, the hub learning community is not helping people to activate. So Red Cross is a partner of ours, and but we are trying to build capacity, I think, maybe for Red Cross as an organization.
Hey, what I'm kind of wondering about is, shouldn't it be that you're a partner of the Red Cross instead? I mean, they are
We are.
massively
They have if it's
better
any help,
organized.
like we've been trying to get them as a guest speaker for the past 3 months and they keep canceling on us. So Red Cross is quite busy,
as they should be.
as they should be. And so that's why we're trying to relieve the burden potentially.
Okay, but as I mentioned, I would caution about trying to or avoiding complications on the work that they're already doing. They could use your network of volunteers and supporters who are ready to respond,
And
but it just seems like they would have the resources and the funding and the volunteers to take the lead.
I definitely think that we could assist. We need more people. Like the Red Cross sent a lot of folks to the Resilience Hub that stood itself up in the North Shore at the Ko'olau Resilience Hub. And part of what we've been trying to do is volunteer distribution more effectively. So I think that's how we can help the Red Cross. Right now, we had met with somebody, there's an organization that has a good platform with the whole Department of Tourism, or HTA, yes, HTA, to better distribute. So yes, don't want to step on anybody's toes. I don't think that we do the same work. I think that we're trying to just create space for resilience for individuals and groups, organizations, on how they can better support their own communities in and out of these situations, so that when the Red Cross comes in the activation point. And we want to help people be thriving in the blue skies as well. But I understand what you're saying.
Lisa and then Sam.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment as well on what Greg mentioned. So there's a lot of value to what the Red Cross offers. You know, they are a very large organization. Just from my personal experience volunteering on Maui after the fires, they had a regular food drive where they're giving out not just food, but lots of supplies with volunteers coming in from all over the world. World Central Kitchen was there passing out food, which is great, and it served a huge need in the community at that time. But I also volunteered at some of the smaller hubs, like the Honokawai hub, and it was beautiful to see just sort of the love on much more of a micro level that existed at these hubs, where people were donating massages and la'au lapa'au, native Hawaiian medicine. There was childcare services, toys and books for kids, for parents to just get a break because they lost their home, they lost their jobs, everything. Starlink set up, they had live music, they were cooking food. So it wasn't as, again, like regulated and established, but it was a very necessary component to just an unbelievable disaster. So the work that you do is very valuable, and I think they can both complement each other and are necessary.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that because we have a lot of stakeholders that's in our community at different levels, whether it be grassroots, whether it's a federal organization, nonprofit, NGOs. Everybody is welcome into that space so that we can better inform each other of what we are doing, again, so that we don't step on those toes, and then provide resources. We also have our own specialties. And that's something that we can just center ourselves as hubs, as organizations and hubs. Your specialty is what you provide to your community for that further resilience. Did you have a question for that? Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
I didn't have a question, but I wanted to thank you for your presentation this evening and for your enthusiasm and for, I'm not quite sure I'm going to get this right, but for the way you humanize the work that you're doing, and you're not making it so bureaucratic. I mean, you're actually sharing it in such a way that I felt that everybody could take part in it. And I come from a very bureaucratic background, and I really appreciate the fact that I sat here listening to you, feeling that if I had a hub, I would raise my hand and want to volunteer, because it wasn't structured, it wasn't overwhelmingly bureaucratic, for lack of a better word. And some people would have felt intimidated by having to say, fill out these forms, and here's the format, and this is what you have to do. But your presentation made me feel as though everybody was welcome, if it was one person or 25 people, regardless of your skill set. If you have a heart and willingness to belong, you have a spot for us. And I really appreciate that. So thank you.
We have a couple of questions from online members, Paige and then Elizabeth.
Hi, thank you so much for your presentation. I don't know if I'm being naive or stupid about it, but we've been hearing the term resiliency hubs for years now at the neighborhood board. And it sounds to me, you had a great presentation, but it sounds to me like this is another emergency organization, like Red Cross or Salvation Army or something like that. So, I mean, I'm confused as to how to understand what a resiliency hub is without hearing the word resiliency hub. Like you're talking about, I mean, Sam mentioned it, Lisa mentioned it. It sounds to me like it's another emergency organization, or it's just another club for people to get together and say, I can do this if this is the situation. I mean, how does a resiliency hub benefit me as a community member? What can it do for me as a community member? And what are the advantages to having this club or this group of people in Hawaii Kai or in Aina Haina or in, IAEA or whatever? I'm completely confused. I'm sorry.
No worries. I would say the advantage, so again, we do not activate, we are not teaching people how to activate. We are creating, there's the blue skies and the gray skies. So these are organizations that are consistently there for their communities, churches that are having sermons every day in their communities, fish ponds and taro patches, Lo'oikalo that are doing their monthly work days, the Pu'uhonua Waimanalo that are doing their work days consistently, showing up for community. That is resilience. So we're trying to change, so focus more on the word of, I asked to focus on the word more on resilience in terms of thriving in and out of disaster situations and not so much on the emergency part, because we want to, instead of saying disaster, instead of saying emergency, we need to be so resilient and so prepared that they are simply disruptions, because disruptions are not going to go away. They're only going to increase. And so these organizations can also, resilience hubs can look like nursing homes, Lunalilo homes. I had reached out to them to being a resilience hub. And so all of these specialty organizations, whether it be in food distribution, whether it be in housing, shelter, communications, post up what their needs are, maybe what they are missing. The advantages in being in the Resilience Hub community of maybe Hawaiʻi Kai is so that you get to better know your neighbors. And then all together as a community have an inventory. The dream is that these resilience hubs can build an inventory and say, like, in the face of a disaster, say Matson stops coming and we don't get shipments for a while and we need toilet paper or paper towels. Who has that? Which organ, like, to the point that we are so close to each other as a community that we know, okay, what is it? Raising Cane's had like 30 rolls, but no more. So I can go ask the Costco, because Costco, like that kind of idea. Creating a network of points of contact of all of the community leaders is what's going to help to create a resilient community and a resilience response team.
So it's a response team for a natural disaster or for and it's so in the case of an emergency for whatever community or for the state. And how does this differ from American Red Cross or from Salvation Army? I mean, I understand you've got people that are involved within, like, in the minute part of the community, but how is that different from American Red Cross contacting the owner of Costco and saying, how many rolls of toilet paper do you have?
I would say, because if they were put like visually, a pyramid is that like the Red Cross would go like this, and then everything has to make its way up to the Red Cross and then communication all the way back down, rather than flipping that triangle and having the community and forming a lot smaller group of people.
I
That
think,
is how we break barriers.
thank you, Honu. I think that this is actually trying to bring awareness to the community to be able to take care of itself, rather than relying on outside agencies to assist our neighbors. Elizabeth, you had your hand up. Go ahead, your question.
Yeah, I've been a member of Serene for a couple of years now, and Matt and I cannot, from Hawaii Kai Strong, can't where we think a resiliency hub should be out here. So we may end up separating. I'm all for Camilla Nui Valley because we have food back there. He wants something different. But setting that aside, it's an extraordinarily proactive, empowering opportunity with great knowledge being shared island wide with others that are also doing it and learning from them that are ahead of us. A simple thing could be when we hear, do you know your neighbors? We're talking about the elderly community. Can you identify a large amount of elderly people and know where they live and that they live alone? Because if there is something, somebody should check in on them. Simple things like that come from a resiliency hub. You cannot expect Red Cross to take care of that emergency or that immediate emotional and neighborhood need. So I just want to share that with you. That's a very simple little thing. That's a beautiful thing that comes from Resiliency Hub. Anyway, it's been a very powering experience for me. I participate. Hopefully Matt and I will agree on an area, or I'll just go ahead and put in Camilla Nui Valley because we have food there. But I wanted just to encourage you guys to participate, listen in, and you'll see how empowering it is. And I lastly want to say that in 2017 and 2018, when we had those fires in the back of the valley, some of us started talking about FireWise initiatives. Nobody knew what the heck that word meant. Now everybody knows what the word FireWise and preventative measures mean. So I'm just sharing with you that FireWise, climate change, resiliency, these are things that empower us. We have to become educated, and we can't just expect the Red Cross and big government or big landowners to take care of it. So I just wanted to put that plug in there and participate in a meeting and see for yourself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Honu, thank you very much for sharing. Or I'm sorry, did you have a question? Come on up.
Mahalo so much for sharing. That was actually very encouraging, just to see that there are people that are interested in what to do during an emergency. But I want to speak to what actually happened during the emergency and how we did mobilize during the emergency. And Red Cross didn't show up but 72 hours after the emergency. We mobilized because we created an app called malamamap.org. You can go on there right now and you can see where the hubs actually are in this vicinity. And I actually have a printout over there. There were 4 within 12 hours of the initial flood. We were able to mobilize from, I'm maybe not in this room, but social media. It's really important because aunties, kupuna, keiki, homes that were flooded from Waialua to Manoa, we were able to mobilize there from actually King's Oahu within 12 hours. Actually, I happened to be driving back from the North Shore. Actually, I never take the freeway. I came back on the freeway and I happened to just have been passing and someone texted me a social media, "Did you see Manoa?" And I said, "Oh my goodness," I happened to pull over, call my friend over at King's Oahu, and we were able to get over there really quickly. What we did during that first 12 hours was mobilize specifically from Coco Marina, right above Hammond's Ice Cream. There was New Hope Hawaii Kai. We have an office up there, and then we have the house established. We were able to get water was the most important thing because not just drinking water, they needed water to wash themselves off because it was septic mud that people were in. No one even knew about the West Side. No one even knew about Waianae. But we had social, and I'm going to say inside outreach. Please reach out to them. I know we've worked with you guys. We were over in North Shore, but there are things that were set up. And the difference between, I really have to bring up Chapter 127A regarding the resiliency hubs. There is a Chapter 127A-14. It is a Hawaiʻi statute that specifically says that the governor and the mayor have sole authority to decide what an emergency is and how long it lasts. With that sort of power, to set up resiliency hubs that they have their fingers on, I just have to say, it's not going to be boots on the ground like what we were able to accomplish. It's going to be pebbles that turn into stones in the way. Time is of the essence. Red Cross won't be there within 72 hours. The lahui is always there, So even Kuli'o'o, we had Kupuna and Kuli'o'o. People didn't even know in Hawaii Kai. Kuli'o'o was flooded. I have Ohana there. That's the only reason I knew that. Like, Tara, can you come over? Can you bring this, this, and this? We have to get this. I mean, this is boots on the ground. And that's why I'm so grateful for the work that you're doing, because we need to get this information out. If you don't mind, I would like to give this to you. And this is what, this is what it looks like. I loved your presentation because we have to come together and it has to be boots on the ground. I'm at the Capitol on a weekly basis fighting bills that will not touch Chapter 127A. I don't want to even make assumption as to why. I'm just going to say, please look into it. Because with that sort of power, to have that sort of hands on emergencies and us not come from the ground up, and it's not your fault. But the fact that she is doing so much work and she didn't even know that there was already work being done, that is a problem. And I am so grateful. I would love to connect with you more. But there was 4 set up within 12 hours. I know Kahi had one, I think within a few days on the beach. But if we can tap in somehow these neighborhood boards to what's happening, like moment by moment, and I know I don't love social media either, but that's where you hear about like the West Side and Manoa. And like you're saying, we may be on the up and up now, but Lahui means everyone coming together in unity. So I just wanted to put that out there. Please, if you get a chance, please just grab one of these. It's over there. And you can go on there right now and see where your closest hub is. And it might be some that overlap with yours as well. I guarantee that it is. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm going to leave this with you as well. So mahalo for the time to speak.
I would just recommend, please have those hubs sign up on our form and then we can all be in the community. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Fabulous.
Another question? Come on up, please.
Thank you for your presentation. I was just wondering if you had any specific policies that your organization was maybe trying to sort of push through local government to support people during the blue skies times that you talked about?
Come on up.
Hello, friends. So I just want to make a comment. I just think that just listening to this whole conversation, I'm just like sitting at the edge of my seat because I could really understand that this isn't like for emergencies like everyone's thinking it is, but this is more like a resource. And the question that really got me was like talking about Red Cross and all that stuff, but like really, she's right. Like the community is out there like before anybody is. And so just like being a part of the younger generation that attends these kinds of things, it's like, why is there so much backlash on this kind of stuff? Like, how many of the younger generation do you see in this room? We ask that at every single neighborhood board meeting and like just the watershed committee meetings and just all this stuff. Like, how much of the younger generation do you see in here? So like, why are we making it hard for the younger generation to provide resources like this and to actually speak up about these things that matter? Like, why are we pushing back on that instead of just trying to sit back and understand why this was even a problem in the first place and that there's younger generation trying to make solutions, you know? So like, mahalo for listening. That's it. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Okay. Ono, did you have a response to the question about any legislation or any policy initiatives?
We have SB 2109, SB 17, and then SB 2645 currently going through. And that is for Resilience Hub funding specifically. So it's money to individual resilience hubs. I think they wanted. Yeah. Yeah. That one was a hub, like a hub learning community member came and then before our staff had known that there was already a bill up through Congress. And so that's how fast this work goes. And so please, there's 5 of us, there's a bunch of y'all. So if you guys have resources, please just get in contact because we are like the Red Cross over capacity, just like we are. So all support. What I want to further emphasize before I leave the mic, I do apologize, is that it's emphasizing local expertise and that you are the expertise. And so your voices and Mana'o actually matters. And that's why we need you to enter into the space because then you can also own and create that space, what you want it to look like. So if it sounds like it doesn't have meaning or advantage, enter the space and create it together is my ask. Ola, okay, mahalo.
Thank you very much, Honu, for sharing all of that with us tonight. a last comment? You'll have to come on up. Okay. All right.
This is a question for just a few people in the room because a big part of this I know is like community operations centers and areas for people to meet and maybe places that we can store things. I was on an email thread with I think a few of you in this room back in January 30th, I believe. That was talking about the Japanese American Institute of Management Science and the push to get that basically purchased as a means for community, for resilience, as a hub for people to get together and work together. And I just haven't heard anything since that initial email thread seeking support. So I guess I'm just kind of asking some of the people in this room, has anybody else heard anything about that? Because I would love for that not to be. Oh. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to read this. So thank you.
All right. Thank you again for both of our presenters. And aloha, I believe that we'll see you again next month with a follow-up on your presentation for the community climate mandate. And Honu, thank you very much for sharing. As I said earlier, I am moved by the younger generation, that's willing to step up and help our community in any way that they can. All right, we're going to be moving on our agenda. We have a lot to cover in our last hour. Next up is just reminding you that we have 3 vacancies on the board. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to apply to fill one of our vacant positions? All right, well, think about it for a future meeting, and we'll continue to ask this until our seats are filled. All right, we're going to be moving on to our officials' reports. And first up is our Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Amy Asselby. Welcome, Amy.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Higher, taller. My name is Amy Asselby, and I'm the mayor's representative here tonight to follow up on a few questions. Not all of them have updates this time. I apologize for that. So I have a few that I will be following up, but it sounds like the Board of Water Supply already gave some information on the Kaluanui roadway project. So I will take that one off the list for now. Sorry, these are very dry and not as interesting as the last report. So the first one is about, a question was posed about overnight vehicles and a homeless encampment. So a concern was raised about 2 handy vans, cars, and tour vehicles parking at the Sandy Shore Beach parking lot near the bathrooms. And could HPD take action to cite and remove these vehicles? I didn't hear this in the HPD report, so I wanted to share that from April 8th to the 13th, District 7 patrol officers conducted checks at Sandy Beach Park. During the checks, officers gave multiple verbal warnings and issued 1 citation for expired safety checks. No other violations were observed, and follow-up checks will continue to be conducted and violators cited. Okay. Question number 2, also regarding some homelessness or other activity that HPD was asked to look into. And this was with regard to concerns of a homeless person at Hawaiʻi Park and Ride and at the Great Lawn on 6520 Kalanianaʻole Highway. Can HPD and DCS address this issue? Again, from April 8th to the 13th, District 7 patrol officers conducted checks at the Hawaiʻi Park and Ride and the Great Lawn. On April 12th, 1 individual was cited for lying down at a bus stop between 4 a.m. and 1 a.m. Doesn't make sense, but maybe they mean the opposite. No other violations were observed. The area was clear of homeless individuals and encampments and other checks. The Department of Community Services also said that they visited the area multiple times between April 8th and April 18th, did not see any homeless people to be in the following area: the Park and Ride bus stop, Malka of the Great Lawn next to the marina, at Mauna Lua Bay Beach Park, or Kalaniana Ole Highway Bridge leading into the Portlock neighborhood. They did acknowledge that there are homeless individuals who camp and loiter in this area. So along with HPD and IHS, they have been asked to continue to conduct outreach in these specific areas. Finally, I guess it's just Kaluanui Road, some tree maintenance issues, and another question on ongoing Cocoa Crater stables follow-up. So nothing new. I apologize on those subjects. But I would say, with regard to those folks who presented on the resilience hubs, I think the city emergency response in terms of what has happened both in Waianae and along the North Shore is grateful for the on-the-ground knowledge, the community trust and connections, especially with like the Ko'olauloa Resilience Network. They were our eyes and ears on the ground. And when they said, we're going to bring people here, they'll come because we asked, can you guys at the city bring your resources? Can you bring everyone from the Red Cross to VOAD, whatever services we were offering, whether it was support for doing your FEMA IA applications or abatement of property tax, et cetera, et cetera. We organized with them to make sure that when they could bring people because of trusted relationships together to get resources, that we would all follow their lead. We would show up and bring what they asked of us. And otherwise it would just have been so much harder to reach people, especially on the North Shore, where many of the farmers do not speak English and are mistrustful of government. So having those relationships, having the network of organizations and individuals was so critical. And I just have to say that I get it, I understand, and we've had just such a great working and ongoing working relationship with folks in the community who have organized amongst themselves and know how to work together through blue skies or cloudy ones.
Thank you, Amy, for your report. Are there questions for the mayor's representative? Paige, you have your hand up. Is that you have a question for Amy?
Yeah, a quick question. So you just, Amy mentioned the people on the ground that helped out on the west side when the Kona Low came through and even through the flooding before that. Were those hub people, resiliency hub people that did all that? Because I know that I was pretty impressed with the fact that the community just said, forget it. We're not going to wait for the powers that be to come through and do what they need to do. We're going to take matters into our own hands and help out our community. And I respected that. And I had a lot of, I was really proud of that. Were those resiliency hub people that did that? Was that a hub that did that? Or were these just people that said, let's do this?
Yes, they are a part of the network, and they work in their communities and coordinate both as individuals who care, as well as with nonprofit organizations that would like to work with them.
So it was a hub that did. What's the name of the hub then
It's called the Ko'olauloa Resilience Network. So that network, again, includes both individuals and community-based organizations that feel like they want to take part and be a part of a closer knit community that knows where resources are and how to work with government agencies, with each other, and kind of understand who has what and can respond in blue and gray skies.
Okay. I'm still confused on the blue and gray and all, whatever. Okay, thank you so much.
Any other questions for the mayor's representative? Well, thank you, Amy, for being here, but there will be follow-up on some of the questions from last month, next month.
Yes, they are all still on the request list, and I'll get back as soon as I have updates. And just as a reminder for like some of the road issues that seem to go unaddressed for years at a time, anyone, whether you're a board member or an individual, you can use 311, and that goes directly to the city agency, whether it's Department of Facilities Maintenance or Environmental Services for debris pickup, whatever it is. You can pinpoint the location on a map, and it's recently been upgraded, and I highly recommend checking it out, whether it's sometimes it's not the city, if it's like a road sign on the highway, but other things that are city, they all go straight to 311 and right to the departments, and they'll follow up directly with you if you input your contact information. So it may be quicker than asking a question at a board meeting, but I will always do my best to get you a response.
Thank you very much, Amy. Next is our City Council Chair report, Tommy Waters. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Chair. Aloha, members. I have 5 things I wanted to talk about tonight. Feel free to stop me at any time because I might go a little long. First, with regard to Hawaiʻi advocates, I highly recommend you all come to the meeting on May 9th because the open house, because if you haven't been in that building, it's fantastic. I had the opportunity to tour it recently, and I got to tell you, it's beautiful. It really is made for a school, though. If you see, there's classrooms, there's actually a kitchen in there, but you are right about how beautiful it is, and you feel like you're in a forest, and it's just beautiful. This year was advocating for $34 million to purchase the property from Kamehameha Schools. The property isn't actually for sale, but I thought, let's be proactive and give us an opportunity to purchase it. And I came up with 34 million because that's the tax assessed value. Yeah, that's not to say that that's actually the sale price. But in light of what happened with the Konolo storms, and the city is looking at between $50 and $100 million in expenses making up for the Konolo storms, I thought this year wasn't really appropriate to do that. But that's not to say that we can't come back next year and try to purchase it, and perhaps working with our state partners to see if they can kick in some money. So it's not just on the city. And by the way, the state has deeper pockets than the city. So if our counterparts can kick in a little bit of help, that'll be nice. In the meantime, though, I am encouraging Kamehameha Schools to work with the community to try to find a compatible use for that building. The last thing we want is a 400-foot story building, a 40-story, 400-foot building, right? Like the Mauna Lua against the mountain. And I know that from attending meetings on this, that's absolutely what we don't want. And as long as I'm sitting in this seat, that permit will never, ever, ever get passed, right? Oh, thanks. Part of the problem too, though, that came up, because Kamehameha Schools is liquidating a lot of their property. And folks on the council and in the community were concerned that, hey, look, they don't want Kamehameha Schools to liquidate their property, right? They want them to hold on to the aina, which I get that too. So maybe we can work out a way that the community can lease it from the Kamehameha Schools. I did pull the leases from Satellite City Hall and the police that we're currently renting space. Guess who the landlord is? Kamehameha Schools. And they basically give it to us for free, right? Literally, it's a nominal charge. So, I thought if we could pay Kamehameha Schools lease for the police station and Satellite City Hall, that might be a win-win. But the fact of the matter is we kind of get it for free as it is. But that's not to say that we can't still find a compatible use. And it would be great if we could have a school there. Personally, I'd love a museum there because it just is so compatible. Second thing I wanted to talk about, thank you so much for your talk on resilient hubs. And in fact, in Aina Haina, I participated with Aina Haina Prepared. There's a group of residents who get together at the Wailupe Elementary, and they would talk about what to do in the event of a catastrophe. And they got donations for people to have like a prepared bag with, you know, things that you need in the event of a catastrophe. So highly encourage folks to get involved. I think that's a great idea. But that begs the question, where do we go in the event of disaster or catastrophe, right? The state says and the city says, mostly you evacuate to a school. This building looks pretty strong, but I gotta tell you, the cafeterias in a lot of the schools, they're not gonna survive a hurricane. There's no way. You're not safe in that building. And really the city who's in charge of the evacuations, we gotta start thinking about where we're gonna evacuate to. So in the city's budget this year, they put $2 million for a resilience hub in Hau'ula, right? But I thought, why just Hau'ula gets one? So I'm advocating to put $2 million in each council district. So each council district can have a resilience hub to do exactly what you're talking about, but also someplace that can withstand a hurricane, that can withstand a flood, so that people have a place to go. Because it's really scary. When there was the last hurricane warning, I went to New Valley Intermediate because that's where they were evacuating to, and I brought pizzas to the folks who were there. And I looked around, I thought, there's no way this place is going to survive. So anyway, so that's in the budget. If you feel strongly about that, please come and testify on Friday. There's a special budget hearing where we're going to be talking about that. Next, I want to talk about landfills. Right now, let's see, I have the maps. Here we go. If you indulge me just for a second, the Waimanalo Gulch Sanitary Landfill is located in Ewa, side of Oahu, and has been operating since 1989 and was expanded twice to use the remaining landfill space. The Waimanalo Gulch Sanitary Landfill is within the State Land Use Agricultural District and is Zone Ag 2, General Agriculture, which requires a special use permit from the City Planning Commission and the State Land Use Commission. A special use permit from the Planning Commission is required to allow the use of land within the State Land Use Agricultural District that is not otherwise permissible. The special use permit must be approved by both the Land Use Commission, because the land area is greater than 15 acres, and the Planning Commission, right? On June 10th, 2019, the Planning Commission issued a decision and order recommending that the Land Use Commission approve an extension of the term of the Waimanalo Gulch Sanitary Landfill. On November 1st, 2019, the Land Use Commission issued its decision and order approving it with modifications to grant the extension. But they said that the city was required to site a new landfill by December 31st, 2022. In 1991, by the way, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency set forth regulations governing the design and operation of municipal solid waste, basically saying that you can't put it near an airport. Okay, so that takes that area off the map. Department of Health also adopted that. Act 73 of Session Laws 2020 also permits locating a waste disposal facility in a also prohibits a waste disposal facility in conservation districts and within 1/2 mile of residences, schools, and hospitals. Yeah, so that's important. Remember that, Act 73. You can't put a landfill near residences, hospitals, or in a conservation district within 1/2 mile. The 2012 report of the Mayor's Advisory Committee on Landfills site selection recommended 11 landfill sites. Upland Kahuku 1 and 2, Upland Pupukea 1 and 2, the Amoran Quarry, Upland Nanakuli, Upland Laie, Kea'au in Kaneohe by H3, Upland Hawaiʻi, and Kapa'a Quarry Road. In subsequent 2017 assessment of municipal solid waste handling requirements for the island of Oahu, EMV reevaluated the landfill sites, recommending in 2012 to account for updated waste generation rates on Oahu and added volumes processed as the expanded HBAR facility. Neither 2012 or 2017 sites were acted upon at that time. In 2020, ENV revisited the landfill siting efforts, taking into consideration further restrictions imposed by Act 73 and initiated a 2021 and 2022 landfill study. Now, in that study, they identified 6 spots. Hawaiʻi wasn't part of them. But guess what? All 6 spots were over an aquifer. So what you're seeing now in the map is the Board of Water Supply came out with a no pass zone. They're saying that that's where all the aquifers are within that area. Yeah, and they're gonna object to that, Board of Water Supply, the no pass zone. The legislature then passes in 2025. Well, wait, let me stop. I missed the step. The city, Department of Environmental Services, selected the Dole site, right? Which is on the list. And that was over an aquifer. Of course, they said that they can put 2 double liners of rubber over it, and that's gonna save the aquifer. But ultimately, in response to that, the legislature passed the bill, Act 255, that says no landfills over aquifers. Now, couple that with the fact that the mayor made a promise to the people on the west side that he would not put the next landfill in the west side, right? Recently, I was watching the Honokai Hale Neighborhood Board. It was actually 3.5 hours long. I sat through the whole thing, stayed up till like 2 in the morning watching it. But the Department of Environmental Services, ENV, presented to that community what they need is a PIM symbol, right? An infrastructure map symbol. In order to put a landfill, you gotta get approval of a PIM symbol. And they presented to the Honokai Hale Neighborhood Board that they want to put the next landfill next to the current Waimanalo Sanitary Gulch site. It's called Makaiwa. Yeah. The community went nuts. Like, no, you promised not to do it. And right now, that's where it's at. But the reason I'm putting this there, that if the mayor changes his mind, where else could it go? If you look at that, Hawaiʻi is not inside of the no pass zone. We're outside of the no pass zone. People have said, you know, put it in Hawaiʻi. right? I don't know if they're just being facetious or whatnot, but I think we got to take this very, very seriously. In the event that it doesn't go out in Makaiwa, where is it going to go? Also on that list is Kapa'a Quarry, which is outside of the no pass zone. But both of those sites are within half a mile of residences and schools. So they're off the list, according to Act 73. So what's left? There's not too many places left. And the only reason I'm bringing it up to you all is that we have to be aware of this and vigilant. And if it comes up that they want to put it in Hawaii Kai, we got to fight back. Yes.
There's Elizabeth has her hand up. She'd like to make a comment on
Sure.
this. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Councilman, I wanted to share with you that Kamilanui Valley, the agricultural valley, the undeveloped valley,
Yes.
is a no-pass zone per Board of Water Supply. And that protects Kamilanui Valley from the possibility of what you're speaking about. I don't know any other Mauka lands in Hawaii Kai that's not near homes with that other requirement that you had mentioned. But in your mind, if you were fearful of Kamilanui Valley, it is a no-pass zone per Board of Water Supply. So FYI.
No, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
But you maybe also recall that the ENB wanted to put it in Wahiawa as well, which maybe just didn't make sense. But I'm just saying we need to be vigilant on this and just in case. Because there is a call, people are saying, go put it in Hawaii Kai, right? So, thank you. The fourth thing I wanted to talk about.
A couple other hands up.
Oh, sure.
Sam and then Aloha.
Well, thank you for this. It's very helpful to have this visual map. I guess two questions. One question being, what is the acreage needed for this landfill, and will the 97 acres suffice for the entire island? And then two, I mean, I hate to bring it up, but are we looking at the possibility of working with like Big Island and having some of the waste shipped there at a larger landfill site that's not over an aquifer? I know it's a little tough to convince the county and the locals there, but is that a potential option?
Yes, I think everything's on the table, but I will tell you, each county is experiencing the same problems that we're having in Honolulu. And in fact, my counterparts on Kauai are asking if they could send their garbage to us. So we got to be careful about that. But you know, the Big Island has a lot more room. But I'm happy to talk to my counterparts on the Big Island to see if they would accept our waste. But ultimately, the fact of the matter is the Land Use Commission and the Planning Commission is required Honolulu to close our landfill in 2028. So the time is ticking, right? And by the way, it's going to take years to site a new landfill. Years. I don't see how we're going to make that deadline. But to answer your question, I'm not sure how much acreage you actually need. I'd imagine it'd be pretty big.
Aloha, you'd have to go up to the microphone. Or Tommy can repeat your question, I guess.
Question is, where exactly is the 97 acres of Hawaii Kai on this map?
Yeah, I think it's exactly where Elizabeth Riley was talking about. Kamiloiki? Kamilanui. Yeah, sorry, Kamilanui.
Okay, Tommy, you want to go on with your report? We're going to have to speed things along.
Okay, sure. One thing was brought up earlier about what the city council can do regarding disasters and what's the plan. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I'm chairing the Executive Management Committee, where we're having the Department of Emergency Management present next steps on what's happening after Wailua. And also I want to know what an update is on the amount of money that we're being spent on what happened. So 9 o'clock tomorrow, you can always, if you can't make it, and by the way, Jason was there at 9 o'clock and he's still here at 9 o'clock. So good on him. But 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. You can always, if you can't make it at council chambers, you can tune in on honolulucitycouncil.org and you can watch on your phone or on your computer at home. But one of the things that I want to look at is taking a portion of the vacancy money that and the lapse money that the city does every year, putting it into a provisional account that the administration can tap for emergencies and for mitigation. At this point, the administration is saying that they can absorb a lot of the costs through the existing budget from lapse funds, but I thought for next year, put aside some money, right? Just in case. It's called a provisional account, so we're not raising taxes to create this fund. It comes from existing funds, but it's set aside to or for disaster preparedness or mitigation in the event that something like this were to happen again. Though they called the Aina Haina storm a 100-year storm. Remember that in 2019? And what? 6 years later, we got another one of these. So the idea is that these things are going to start happening more and more often, and we need to be proactive and start thinking about that. You know, one of the things that was in the hearing this morning was talking about stream maintenance. Stream maintenance, and there's a lot of, although we don't have as many streams in Hawaii, we have ditches right behind homes. Those things got to be cleaned. You know, they got to be upkept. Because if you don't upkeep these streams and ditches, when these big rains come, you know, they're going to overflow and flood. So that's one of the things that I want to see happen more often, right? Not just in preparation the day before, go out there and try to clean the streams. Like, let's do it on an annual basis. I guess that's it. I'm available for questions.
All right, are there questions for the council chair? Yes, Sam?
Going back to Opala, I would love to see more of an initiative from the city to try to get people to utilize things like Facebook Marketplace or to donate items to not just like even just all the junk removal companies. They grab whatever from somebody's house and just immediately take it to the convenience center or wherever and just throw it all out without any regard to trying to reuse, because tons of people out there love free stuff. And if we could get some sort of city campaign to reduce waste and reuse and recycle, it'll really help lower the burden on the landfills and just be more conscientious.
No, I totally agree. And in fact, we all got to do better at not creating so much waste, right? You think about all the food and other waste that we throw away. We really, really got to do better. I did help Reuse Hawaii pilot a project. They went over to the transfer station at Kapa'a and Kailua, and they started grabbing stuff out of there. Reuse, if you have never been to Reuse Hawaii, it's fantastic. They basically dismantle homes and then sell things like windows and all that other stuff. But they went down to the transfer station, started grabbing the good stuff. You know, I grew up going to the dump with my dad in Kapa'a, and I used to grab stuff all the time from the dump. There's a lot of stuff there. But what we're really talking about is we're burning it at H-Power, right? So we're talking about ash and what to do with that ash. So far, the Department of Health doesn't allow us to reuse the ash like at the asphalt for roads. A little bit off topic, what are you talking about? But you know the washing machines and other appliances that you can drop off at these convenience centers? Ross's, not the clothing store, but the appliance store actually takes them and rebuilds them, which is cool. But we need to do a lot more of that.
All right, we have questions online. Elizabeth first, and then Johnny May.
Yes, in Mariners Cove, there was a traffic count being done, and when we inquired about it, we were told that your office was following up on constituents' requests for a possible crosswalk. I could call your office tomorrow, but that's what we were told, so I was going to ask you about that. If
thank
you
you.
know anything about it, or do you want me to talk to your office?
No, I don't. But typically what we do is we put in a request through a riser system to the Department of Transportation Services.
Mm-hmm.
And they would do a traffic study. And then when we get that traffic study back, we can report back to you. So I'd imagine that they haven't gotten back to us yet. You know, sometimes though, I will tell you, as Amy was suggesting, 311, sometimes you get a quicker response. sometimes you get a quicker response than from my office. Even when my office requests from the administration, 311 could be quicker.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Johnny May, unmute mute yourself.
Thank you, Chair. Um, um, Mr. Waters, I was at the Makakilo board for the same reason of the landfill. Years ago, I'm in Zoom I live in Waianae. So once upon a time, Council Member Gabbard was our council member. Same issue we're talking about, same resistance from the community. So Makakilo recently had the same thing, same topic, the landfill. But I want to correct the city because Upland Nanakuli is really not Upland Nanakuli. It's in Waianae Valley. Waianae Valley where I live. And so at that Makakilo meeting, I told Mr. Roger Becker, eminent domain, Makaiwi Gulch, eminent domain, like how you guys do for the rail. Same thing, Makaiwi Gulch. They wanted to build homes over 20 years ago and still nothing, So eminent domain, I don't want it in Waianae Valley. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Are you advocating for eminent domain or against that eminent domain of Makaiva Gulch?
No, I don't want it Waianae Valley. So Makaiwi Gulch is fine with me. It's closer to H Power. With the cost of gas for trucking fuel, it makes more sense. And they had more than 20 years to build homes and they never did. So it makes more sense to continue Waimanalo Gulch to Makaiwi Gulch. Thank you.
Thank you. What she's talking about is Makaiva is owned by Campbell Estate. And it's actually zoned R5. No, appreciate that comment.
Okay, last question. We're going to have to adjourn soon.
Oh. It just sounds like you have a lot of long-term plans for this and for, fighting to keep that landfill out of Hawaiʻi Kai. Are you willing to commit to finishing a full term if you're reelected to city council?
Yes, that's the plan.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Tommy. We appreciate your being here.
Thank you. Good to see you, members.
Okay. Governor Josh Green's representative Cameron Black was unable to join us tonight. He's at another meeting that conflicts with ours, but he did send some information on the coconut rhinoceros beetle that I have forwarded to all of the board members. Senator Stanley Chang's office, do we have a representative online?
Yes, good evening, and I'll be brief, Madam Chair and members of the board, and aloha again to all of our
What was your name?
neighbors.
Can we have your name again, please?
Sure, my name is Zephanie Smith Eisenstadt
Stephanie?
with a Z. I'll provide the information in the chat.
Okay, thank
So
you.
I just want to do a quick thanks to everyone who's taken the time to engage in the legislative process, register your concerns, your feedback as the bills made it through the process. As you know, we are gearing up for the final week of the legislative session, and your testimony calls and emails really do matter and have played an important role this session, especially as we look to which bills have made it thus far and which ones haven't. So Senator just wanted to convey his appreciation and gratitude to those of you who've stayed engaged, asked hard questions, and helped us to understand how policy decisions affect real neighborhoods and families. Just briefly want to touch on a couple of issues that have been elevated to us from this community. Number one, power outages and infrastructure reliability. We totally know and we're affected by them as well. that these outages remain a major frustration for many households in East Honolulu. So just wanted to provide the update that our office has been in contact directly with Hawaiian Electric. Long story short, they did provide us with their 855 phone number, and they have a specific page on the website where they really do rely on you to provide you with notifications when your power goes out as they're mapping out their repair process. Thank you very much to everyone who shared thoughtful resources and stories related to storm recovery efforts. I will provide those presentations to the Senator and his permanent staff to look at areas where we can amplify or uplift, whether through social media or future newsletters, which you can subscribe to on its website. As you all know, Governor Green issued an emergency proclamation, and what we wanted to highlight, which you'll find in our most recent newsletter, is that certain federal mortgage relief protections may now be available for impacted owners. We include some information about foreclosure moratoriums, forbearance options, waived late fees, things of that nature. So again, if your household was affected, we do strongly encourage you to contact your mortgage servicer as soon as possible. Get your flood insurance if you have it filed, etc., to get some help in a timely manner. Back to legislation again, final stretch. Many of you have called, you've spoken to myself or Ruben, and maybe in some instances our community clerk, our committee clerk, Casey. Just want to remind you that the public access room at the Capitol remains a fantastic resource for those of you who need help navigating the final stretch of the legislative process. And all year long, they're on the 4th floor at the Capitol. They're incredibly helpful. They also have many resources on their website. You can call them, email them, or stop by. So the next time you see the senator's office, it won't be me. I go out with the session, but we'll likely be on the other end of session. So again, thank you very much for your continued partnership, and we hope to see some of you out in the community. Yes, Ruben will be there on May 9th. So thanks for highlighting that at the top of the meeting a few hours ago. And hope to see you, stop by the office in coming months. We're already getting started with your ideas for the 2027 legislative session. So again, that link to stay connected and to register for our weekly and monthly newsletters is senatorchang.com. I'll put that in the chat. And thanks again for your time. Get some rest for this final stretch. Take care, and happy to follow up on any questions or concerns if there are some now. Anyone?
Thank you very much for being with us each month, and good luck on whatever your next project or next work item is, wherever you're going to be working next after the session is over. Any questions for Senator Chang's office? Yes, Robbie?
So at our last meeting, it was a point of contention as to why Senator Chang introduced SB 2423, and it was discussed that he would provide a statement to the board. Is there a statement? Is there anything at all?
Oh, yes. I thought we may have, I don't think I attended that last one. Let me go back to our notes. We did have some information about that. One moment, please. Long story short, I'm scrolling through the information that we put together here. He received the feedback, and we got calls, and it was as a result of your mobilization and communication that he moved forward with having that bill. They call it recommitted, so that bill did not move forward. And I can. I don't want to hold you all up. I know it's really late here, but
That's
he
good. Thank
did.
you.
He did address it, I think within a week or so, following a number of discussions. That's, when I talked earlier about, your sharing about how legislation affects, real people, real communities. I think this is a powerful example of your voice affecting the legislative process in real time. So thanks for the question. I'm sorry. I thought we might have provided that update last month.
Thank you for that follow-up. Appreciate it. All right. Is there any representative from Senator Chris Lee's office? Seeing none. Representative from Joe Gideon's office? Leo, are you still on board?
Hello. folks. Yep, I am still with you. Leo Rodas from Representative Gideon's office. Let's take a look here. So let's start with just some constituent concerns. So we did get a set of emails and a phone call regarding a smell that was coming from the golf course. We did look into that, and we're working with Hawaii American Water. I'm sure that a lot of you folks know that there is a water treatment facility out there, and it seems like the odor was coming from there and not the golf course. When we did connect with the golf course, they were just kind of surprised and shocked. They looked into the matter. They couldn't find any particular odor coming from the golf course. And so we are working with American Water to update their odor control status report. We do have one from April, but that was before the constituent concern came in. So as of March, there were no complaints that they received. But again, they do issue out a report fairly regularly. And so I think it could be a benefit for us to get this over to you folks on the neighborhood board so you can disseminate that appropriately. We did cover the Mariners Ridge update already, and I believe Adrian also brought up the concerns about Flying on Yellow Highway and everything that has to do with that. So I will connect with Galen on those issues moving forward. Let's see. So Representative Gideon did want just to remind everyone that the public can report potholes to, I think one of the better sort of avenues to approach that would be the 311 app or calling the city's pothole hotline. I can drop that in the chat if anyone is interested in that. That's for city roadways, and then potholes on state roads should be reported to the Department of Transportation Highway Division. I can also drop that in the chat. As far as anything coming up soon, announcements from our end, there is an upcoming talk story, and this is relative to taxes. So there are a lot of bills that are making their way through this final stretch of the legislative session relating to taxes. And so we have Ted Fallas from the Grassroot Institute and Tom Yamachika from Tax Foundation of Hawaii, and they are going to be commenting on just taxes and how it affects all of us. So that is Talk Story, Oahu Club, 6 p.m. this Thursday. Tomorrow, not tomorrow.
And,
Any questions?
And Leo, I just wanted to remind you that a few of us will be coming on Thursday for the Capitol visit. We'll arrive about 10:30. And I wanted to just remind other board members, the invitation is still open if anybody would like to attend at the invitation of Representative Gideon. So a few of us will see you at 10:30, Leo, at the representative's office.
Yep, fantastic. And that was, yeah, that was just a next update. Again, yeah. So please join us 10:30, and Representative Gideon will be in conference fairly, just kind of packed schedule that Thursday. So it's gonna be quite, I think, I don't know, awesome, I guess, if you're into that, to get to see how this sort of tail end of the legislative process works.
All
Please
right,
join
thank
us.
you. We're going to have to move on.
Okay. Thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you. Representative Mark Hasham's office. Hello, Jane.
Hi, good evening. Aloha, thank you, Chair. Aloha to you and also to all the members present tonight. I'm Jane Taylor here tonight representing District 19, House of Representative Mark Hasham. Our office is very excited for the May 9th open house coordinated by Cheryl Park. A big mahalo to her for putting this together. I know she's been working very hard on this. As Rep. Gideon's representative mentioned, we are right in the middle of conference. Non-fiscal bills clear tomorrow night, and then the fiscal bills clear on Friday. So it's crazy. Rep. Hashim also wanted me to let you know that he agrees with Chair Waters on the need for upkeep on the stream maintenance. Like, don't just wait until the last minute before the storm. In fact, he's even floated the idea of possibly using some of the green fee funds towards this concern. Also, just want to reiterate, as Amy suggested, how much we like using the 311 mobile app. Call out to the city and county for that. It's just fabulous because you can attach pictures and get your request in right away. That's all I have for tonight. Again, if you have any concerns or problems, please call our office. You will normally get me on the phone, and I'm very helpful. I'll take any questions.
Any questions for Representative Mark Hasham's office? No questions, Jane. Thank you for staying with us this long. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
Do we have anybody online from our congressional representatives? Seeing none, we're going to be moving on to board business. Is there any update on the Ka'iviko Scenic Byway? Nothing. Update on Camilo Nui Valley Agriculture. Judy, come on up. Haven't seen you for a while. Thank you for staying this late and joining us. Judy Nii is one of the farmers in Camilo Nui Valley.
I was reading the minutes from the previous meeting, and Elizabeth had, talked about how our road had closed, and it was really bad. Because they had cleared a lot of the overgrown vegetation, the water just ran right through our main road, so we had to open the emergency road. But I'm very happy to hear people talk about resiliency hubs, because in our community, we're pretty tight, so we keep tabs on each other. And, when somebody, like for the road, for instance, if somebody can't pass the road, they call me or someone else, and then we unlock the gate and we try to check on each other, because it was very devastating, the flood, because it was so, the rain was constant and it never let up. There was so much damage in terms of plants rotting or diseases or things like that. And we're still trying to recuperate from that, because farming is so dependent on the weather. And you can't imagine what it does to, especially the veg crop farmers, because they can't harvest and the plants don't grow. There's no sun. So farming is hard work. And I just want to give you an update that right now, Kamehameha Schools is only letting us have licenses, 1-year license. So we have to renew every year. So for some of the farmers, the new ones who want to build infrastructure, start new types of businesses, they will not be able to get loans. So some of them have outside investors coming in, but it's very difficult because you need a lot of capital to start a farm. And, at this point, there's not much we can do.
Judy, when will those licenses need to be renewed? Is that
It
soon?
usually ends at the end of June, and then you renew it again. But we didn't get our notice till later in the next year. So, it's very unpredictable. But according to Todd Gray, that's the only way they will have us use the land. one-year leases. And because they don't really have a definite plan as to what they're going to use, how they're going to proceed in the valley. I'm sure they have a plan. Well, this is my opinion, but they're not very transparent about it.
Questions for Judy? Please come on up.
You only have a one-year license, but how much notice do they give you before they tell you we are not going to renew your license? Is it just 30 days or what is it?
They haven't really discussed it, but I think because they're trying to put the sewer system in, it's very difficult for a new business to plant on the land when you don't know how long it'll take and how long, I mean, to what extent they'll go into your property, because they didn't tell us of how, they haven't shown us the plan that whatever company they're talking to will put in the sewer system. So we don't know, and they may shut off the water for a period of time. So it's very uncertain, and I don't think any new business would want to come into the valley under those circumstances.
And wasn't Camilo Nui historically an agricultural area?
Yeah, yes, it was long time ago, but you know, maybe I can ask Elizabeth, because we saw a sign where some native birds were congregating on one of the properties because they had removed the vegetation. There was a huge pond of water, and somebody spotted native birds over there. So I don't know if that will have any effect on whether farming could be done on that area. I don't know if Elizabeth would know.
Yeah, there was the Alaiʻula and the Hawaiʻi Moorhen congregated on a parcel that's probably maybe 200 yards away from the Hawaii Kai Marina. So you got to remember that before Kaiser, that whole area was marshy land and then fish ponds. So I'm not surprised to have seen the Alaiʻula. I'm actually the one who photographed it, and the Hawaiian moorhen on that one farm lot, which was rather interesting. So I shared that with Kamehameha Schools. I was excited to see it and
Yeah.
photograph it. So I thought it was a pretty cool thing.
Well, Judy, thank you very much for coming tonight and updating us on what's happening.
Thank you
And
for your
you know,
support.
you know that we all sympathize with the uncertainty that all of the farmers are experiencing. So
Thank you.
thank you. Any update on Cocoa Crater Stables? Well, I'm hoping to hear a little bit more when Amy returns next month. She wasn't able to respond to a lot of the questions that
Just
that we
one
had.
quick comment.
Yes.
Can we request from the city administration for a letter on all the decisions they made on it and how they came about to 3 years after to basically say it's your problem? So I just was wondering if that could be done.
Okay, let me take that under advisement, Herb, and then see what I can come up with. Okay, any reports from board committees? Moving on to approval of the regular meeting minutes. The minutes for March 31st were distributed. Are there any revisions to the minutes? Seeing none, the minutes for March 31 are accepted as distributed. Any other board announcements? If not, I'm going to be going into the closing announcements, and I want to thank everybody for staying as late as you did for our full meeting. The next regular meeting of the Hawaii Neighborhood Board is on Tuesday, May 26 at 7 p.m. at Hawaii Elementary School Cafeteria and on WebEx. The Hawaii Neighborhood Board regular meetings are cablecast on Olelo, Channel 49 on the second Monday of the following month at 9:00 p.m. and repeating on that month's third Friday at 7 a.m. Videos of our meetings can also be seen on the olelo.org website and on the honolulu.gov NCO board's website. Thank you again for being here this evening and have a wonderful next rest of the month. Meeting is adjourned.